What about what's his name? Sugarfoot?
Peter Sugarfoot Cunningham?
Yeah.
We're going to get him on, yeah.
We're
going to fucking get Peter was a fun dude. Yeah. Especially like 140, just the fastest. He's so fucking fast.
Do you know the first time he was ever knocked out?
No. Was by Van Damme?
Van Damme in Tito Ghosn Surrender.
Yeah.
Where Van Damme, it's a bit, I don't know, you saw the movie?
Yeah, of course.
Where, well, yeah, but you know, some people say, everybody, you know, blood sport, everybody.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'd be surprised how many people I've talked to and said, have you seen Surrender? And they go, I saw that one.
Yeah,
but there's a lot to go. Yeah, of course.
They got Karate Tiger in some
Karate Tiger in Germany.
Yeah.
But
are we going?
Sorry. Yeah, I just get it all up there. It's rolling. But we'll do the official intro and then we'll go.
Yeah.
So he throws me against the ropes and then Cunningham rebounds and Jean-Claude does a jump spinning kick. He knocked him out cold.
And you can tell for a split second on JC's face. If you watch it, because I made that clip the other day and put it up on
well, you can also tell because the impact. JC actually goes, this is Pete's head, this is the foot goes.
And
so he didn't go through, you could see.
Yeah, he stopped it. JC pulled it but it was already too late.
I don't think it was pulled. I think it was
you can see
he hit him and he kind of hit him and bounced off.
But when you see JC land, he's like, when he lands, he's like, you see it. It's like, oh, was it?
That's why, because the first take what he did when he hit him, down goes Pete. Jean-Claude, Pete, okay, sorry. And the director's like, no, fuck, no, don't do that. Just go, or whatever. So the second time,
fucking dead, dude.
But I actually asked Jean-Claude, what's the look in your face? Because it was the fucking second time and I knocked him out again. He said, I had to hold it all together because the director was like, don't hold position, drop him, boom, we'll cut. Then you can go, are you okay? You know? And the first time he was ever knocked out. Yeah. I mean.
But yeah, dude, we're going to just. Whatever comes to mind, dude. I mean, you've done plenty of podcasts, you know.
Yeah.
We do it more like a conversation opposed to.
So we're not going to be like, so then you did this? Okay.
Yeah. Every time I've done those, it's like,
it's so fucking.
Then it's like, you watch 50 of them.
You know the same shit.
Yeah. I did one with Rampage, the Jackson one.
I actually just watched it.
It was really good.
It's fucking great.
Yeah. Same thing. We're just talking.
So I watched it when it first came out. Because remember, I texted you and I was like, dude. This was fucking solid. And then I just watched it on the way over here just to kind of remember a couple things you guys have chatted about and stuff. Dude, Rampage is a fucking savage.
Yes.
Jesus.
Where does he hold that podcast?
It's in Orange County.
He lives out there?
It's in Newport, isn't it?
Yeah. What's going on with his son after his son beat the shit out of some guys?
No, I don't know. That's a great question. I read that he went to jail, but he's out. I know that for sure.
Well, he's out on bail probably.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
But I mean, what was he doing beating that guy? That's a wrestler, right?
Yeah. I saw different takes of it.
From my understanding, it was also it was implied that it was coming. The guy already knew shit was going down.
It wasn't so much that it was more that he kept beating.
Like after he was out.
Oh yeah, like he beat him 20, punched him 20 times in the head.
I saw a little bit of it. I saw it before. The dude did it, and he was like, and then after the fact, the guy. There's different.
I think the guy was out. Right?
The guy with the cowboy, he was out.
Yeah, he was out.
The guy with the cowboy was like, hey, bro, he was like, you're get your revenge when he's in the thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all right, man. He's like, get in there. So. After I thought, I was like, oh, well, they gave him a flag. It's on the go.
Apparently it's like an unwritten rule too, where like if that happens on the outside in that world, that's something you do. It's like an unwritten thing.
Well, my unwritten thing is if the guy's out.
Yeah, well, of course.
You don't punch him another 25 times.
The ref don't step in, dude.
Yeah. The ref is like,
the ref's like, hey, he's like, watch the other thing. Okay. Hold on. Pulling a Mario Yamasaki.
Maybe the ref didn't like the guy. Maybe.
I guess.
What he could have killed that dude. He could have actually killed him.
Well, I mean, is he still in the hospital or is he out?
Yeah, he's out.
What's Rampage take on? Like, is he just like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it.
He puts him in an odd.
I would have to say he's probably upset at it.
I would say he's probably upset.
Comes from a real background, where you respect. You go in, you win, you lose, but there's always that respect afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. Vanderlei and Rampage had some battles.
Oh yeah.
Remember, how many did they have in K1 back in the 90s?
Pride.
Pride. Sorry, Pride.
He got him in the first one. And before that fight too, Rampage he was like, bro, he had these crazy dreams. And he,
Rampage?
and then he got super religious before the fight. It was like, he saw Randall as the devil. And then you saw the knockout. So he looked like a horror movie.
But the way he put Chuck out too in 2006 with that left hook, was it a left hook or a right hook? When he knocked Chuck down, that was a left hook. He came up, boom, with that hook, but he nailed Chuck Wood.
He'd done that before, in Pride. You didn't know that.
Do you think
against Chuck?
Yeah.
Do you think that's where Chuck actually started kind of feeling it a little bit?
God, I don't know, dude.
That's why you get rocked so many times.
It's it only takes so many. The nervous system's like, hey, it was like you need to preserve your brain.
Because that dude had a fucking just rock
striking coach, and the guy's like, hey, bro, you want to do an instruction? I never watched an instruction.
Who was the guy? Robert Jones, was it?
No, it was called Island Video.
But yours was an actual video.
It was a VHS.
Yeah.
It was like five different ones, and then when Black Belt Magazine bought it, they paid me out.
And those were huge back in the day, because
no one had done it. Yeah, I hadn't seen one, and I trained in Thailand.
What was the name of it? The series?
Was it Muay Thai, Razor Rob Muay Thai?
Because think about this, man. Like, remember back
when they were running ads with Black Belt Magazine.
UFC just came out, and all of a sudden, everybody in the 90s wanted to learn how the fuck.
Yeah.
Gracies blew the fuck up. Nobody even knew who they were. And then all of a sudden,
they're like, these guys are awesome.
Like, and Hoist.
Commercial, then.
Yeah.
UFC is a commercial.
Yeah. And like Hoist, probably I wouldn't say the weakest out of the bunch, but not the strongest out of the bunch.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks he's a fucking god in that sense, which I mean,
the guy's a legend, dude.
Dude,
and just like that, the whole time.
Were you at the event in downtown in February 2023? It was when Fedor fought what's his name, Ryan Bader. You at that event?
No.
So we went to that event, and sitting there, myself, Jean-Claude, Bernie Reyes Jr. And we're sitting inside. You know, they have a square, like what they call, I guess, the VIP area, square area around the ring. The truth is, you see more when
totally right.
But anyway,
the first round.
Yeah, we're sitting.
You're watching the screen to try to watch the fight.
We're sitting in there, and I remember moving over beside Chuck. Chuck is kind of sitting. Chuck Liddell's like this. You know,
he's always in it. He's into it, you know.
And I gave him a nudge. I said, "Move over there and knock the fuck out of you." And he goes, "Oh, hey man," you know. We're not joking, of course.
Yeah.
But Randy, everybody was there. It was a great event. But you know what I thought was so fucking humble about Horace Gracie and Randy Matul.
Randy's fucking.
You know what I thought was so cool. They walked over to Van Damme and says, "Hey, Jean-Claude, how are you?" Jean-Claude, "Hey, Randy." Well, they knew each other from Expendables. But, "Hey, Randy, how are you?" You know, and it was two separate independent events, you know, and, Randy's like, "Hey, let's get a picture together." And he had his girlfriend take the picture. And then Heist comes over sometime later on. He says, "Hey, Jean-Claude, how are you?" You know, "Let's get a picture. You know, want a picture for my social media." And he gave me, and I took it. That picture of him and Jean-Claude, I don't know if you've seen it. It's on his Facebook. I took that. But I thought it was super humble and cool because, you know, I mean, a lot of people want to be perceived as the alpha.
Yeah.
You know, and all those guys, and of course.
Most of the guys that have it, though, aren't like that. Like, what I've noticed in the game, meeting a lot of these guys, is the ones that you would think want to set like an alpha standard, they don't give a fuck.
They don't fuck
because they know they smash you within a second.
Well, it's to get there, right? You're the nail or you're the hammer, and at some point you were the nail.
At some point,
and you're like, all right, dude.
Yeah,
then you get.
But I just thought that was super humble.
No, that's great.
That's awesome.
You know, that told me they had no ego, nothing to prove, because you know there's a lot of guys in those situations where it could be any like actors or fighters. They're like, you know, I'm the king shit in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not humble, and they might actually idolize someone like a Van Damme through the movies, like for what he's done. They might not think much of him as a martial artist, but as a movie star, they like him.
Yeah.
And they look, but they'd love to have that photo if you set it up for them. That they didn't look like
fanboy. I rounded it up. Yeah,
it's true. It's a different generation.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that because I was just reading this thing and it was a post that a jiu-jitsu guy had made, and he said, "Hey, question," and he was asking, he was probably set up, but he said, "I'm a purple belt. My coach said in order for me to get my brown belt, he wants me to teach a couple of classes in a month," and he was like, "I don't think I should. What do you guys think?" And then
everybody's
almost all of the things this generation was like, "No, it looks like he wants free free labor, but everybody was the same thing. And I'm like, this is how this spreads, dude.
Yeah,
Sharing is caring, bro. At some point, this is how this keeps going. Otherwise, this stops. Like, you gotta. And it blew my mind.
Well, like you
there were
just said,
so many people that were like, no.
like you just said about the guy that Tiki's bringing up. It's like most people be like, no, fuck that. But the dude that's hungry, the dude that's thirsty, that's got the blood, sweat, and tears ready to roll, like that guy's gonna be like, wait a second, he wants to fucking rep. Yeah, dude, I'll fucking sleep on the mat. I'll sleep every fucking day on the floor, fight every day.
But a lot of people don't realize. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe wrong to say they don't. Maybe they do and they can't address it because their ego or whatever. Is the more you teach, the better you get.
Yeah, puts in a different part of your brain.
Yes, Sarah, you never forget it.
Yeah.
If you can, like, say you're injured and you can't train.
Yeah.
For 6 months, but you're teaching it. It's in your brain.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just go cold turkey, you'll start to forget something. You know,
you want to break it down even more psychologically, because that's my doctor that's in that. your brain does not know the difference.
NLP.
Whether or not you're physically doing it or you're mentally doing it, that connection does not make a difference. Your brain sees it the same way. So
It's great to think about. I read something about that.
Yeah. Let's do a quick intro and keep going because I don't want to lose this. We got some good shit we've already got. So, all right. So we got Razor Rob McCullough here. Doesn't need an introduction. He's basically one of the pioneers of the sport, a complete badass and one of the most humble dudes I know. So, Rob, thanks for coming on. We've already been chatting for a good 15, 20 minutes. It's too bad the audience ain't going to see the majority of it. But let's just keep this going, man. So how you been?
Good. Thank you.
Kicking some ass, I see, right?
Enjoying life. Trying to enjoy.
You know, my wife loves the little flavor saver deal. She's always trying to get me to fucking cut that.
Dude, it's like white at this point.
Yeah, I'm like, the only dude I know that can pull that shit off is Rob. That's it.
White means maturity.
Yeah. I guess. I
guess that's what it is.
That's my wife should say different, but
yeah. So yeah, man, we were just kind of chatting about some of the good old days. So
welcome, Rob. Good to have you. Nice to meet you. Take us from the start. Go back to when you first had aspirations and motivations about martial arts and life in general.
You know, I think my dad was a martial artist. He was in the military. He was a Vietnam vet too. So to me, I thought that's just what you did. You went and trained. You packed your bag. I remember we had like this duffel bag. You pack your bag and you go to the gym, you train. He brought me one time, and my mom took a judo class in
How old were you?
the 60s. What's that? When I was a kid? Oh, God, I was like 7.
Yeah.
I was
Really young.
small. I was young enough to when he took me to the dojo, and his coach was like, hey, oh, okay, yeah, it's your son. Yeah. And he goes, what's right or your left? And I didn't know the difference. And he goes, when do you know the difference? And I was so bad. It's like, But so to me, that's always what I want to do. My whole house, like as a kid, I had like a commando lines. Like we were fighting each other. I have nieces and nephews around the same age because I have a bunch of siblings, sisters, and
how many siblings, sisters, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I now have a younger brother, but I have an older brother too, and then 6 sisters. So
you have a younger brother? How old was a younger brother?
He's probably in his 30s now.
Yeah.
So
when you started out in martial arts, did you start in MMA or did you start more traditional?
I started traditional. I started Senpai Kempo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, Kenpo or Kempo? M or N?
Kempo.
K-E-N.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I ask is I'm trying to see if there's a correlation between Kenpo.
Actually, was it Kempo or Kenpo?
Who was your instructor?
God, I can't remember his name.
Well, you're barking up James' tree right now, dude.
Where was
It was K-E-N. It was in
American Kempo.
Yeah, it was in Huntington Beach off of Springdale and Warner, right on the corner. Springdale and Warner.
And what age were you at that point?
Probably about 9.
So you went all the way through to a black belt?
No. It was the worst. Is literally I got it because my mom was like, my mom was pretty aggressive. My mom's very small too, but she was really aggressive. I got to the point where I was almost as tall as her. Like she beat the shit on my sisters, and like go get the belt. And everyone was like, nah.
The belt. I miss those days.
I think that was license or something. And so my neighbor had a paper route. He didn't want to do the paper route anymore. So I was like, I'll do your paper route. So now I have money. So now I have a paper route and I got money and I'm like, I want to do karate lessons. So I paid for it myself. And I didn't go very far on it, but I loved the fact that it was like fun. It was discipline. I thought that's what you're supposed to do. And plus I watched every Chuck Norris, Van Damme movie that was out there. It was like, and even Steven Seagal. So I remember one day riding home, I was wearing my gi, and this kid goes, "Okay, Karate Kid," and I was like, and I dropped my bike. I was like, "What?" I'll never forget this. And he was like a big, tall kid with red hair. And he's like, "Yeah," and I side kicked him in the stomach. He's like, "No!" I was like, "Oh, this shit works." I just got back on my bike.
So let me get this straight. So this reminds me of like a Christmas Story meets Karate Kid. You get off your bike instead of getting kicked down the hill. You get off your bike. You see the fucking little redheaded kid from fucking Christmas Story, and you fucking side kick
yourself.
Oh,
Why do you remember this name?
I don't know why. I don't know.
because it was his first time he ever fucking smoked somebody.
Well, I had
No, did you get in trouble with the law?
No.
So how did you know it was him?
Oh, because we went to school.
Kids went to school.
It
was that random guy.
Oh yeah, no. It was on swing set, and I was like going over. I made it through the school I went through. So we're going over there. I go over the hill.
So you're like cutting through the school and everything.
Yeah.
This is like straight up from a movie, bro.
So like, it was like after school too. So it was after practice with my gi on.
No,
That's why he was like, "All right, I was like,
I always remember like leaving class and still having my gi on and just thinking, dude, thankfully I was not intimidating at all. So nobody gave a fuck.
I was
walking around.
I was really skinny little kid.
Me too, dude. I was like, and I always remember walking into like Kroger or a grocery store with my dad. And I'm always like, because I got my fucking gi on, thinking like,
can I change?
yeah, dude, Dad, what the fuck, man? Yeah. So he met my dad.
Yeah. Okay, I can imagine. So you do that for a bit, then
Do that for a bit. I ended up moving. So I'm probably about 9. I ended up moving to Alaska with my sister. My parents get divorced.
Shit, I didn't know this.
Yeah, so I ended up wrestling, and I'm in 6th grade, so I'm about probably 11. So I went from karate to wrestling, and I'm like, all right, and obviously you wrestle.
It is, yeah.
That's a combat sport in itself, and the fact that I was a new kid. I lived in Alaska. I was a new kid from California. It was around that same time. Remember that stupid commercial, California Raisins?
Yeah, that's
California Raisins, those stupid raisin dance.
and they're on their bikes.
Everyone made fun of me on the California Raisin thing. I was just like, oh god. All the girls thought I was cute though, which was good. The guys hated me, so I was just like, oh, it sucked. But I wrestled. Wasn't very good, but I did teach a lot of things that later on came down to like, oh yeah, fighting hand, sprawling, underhooking, like wizard, like all that kind of stuff made sense.
Wizard, that's the one.
Oh man. So that kind of got it going, and then fast forward, I moved back.
Well, how long did you wrestle?
Yeah.
Did you wrestle in high school? Did you wrestle?
No, like literally 6th grade.
That's it.
Yeah. I was horrible, so I was just like, all right, this sucks. And then I ended up playing baseball and I played basketball.
But you got a foundation later because,
yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm only saying this, but didn't you didn't really pick up a ground game until you started training with Tito, right? Yeah. That's when you really got.
So you were in Alaska wrestling.
Yeah.
Take us from there. You moved back here.
So yeah. So I ended up moving back twice. So I came back for a vacation, and then my mom was like, "I want you to stay." My mom was like, "All right," and my sister was like, "Hey, we're going back," and I didn't answer the phone. So I ended up saying. Then I realized like, oh, my mom doesn't have a place to live. She's couch surfing. And then I realized I'm more of a burden to my mom than anything, because I'm like, Mom, I live in Huntington Beach, and she's like couch surfing some of my siblings. One of them that I lived with, she was an alcoholic. She passed away because of that.
Sorry.
But I have nephews that were the same age as me, literally the same age, and a niece. So they were all gangbangers, which sucks because she like was a trucker, and she lived in LA, so she'd go to like truck stops. Well, they grew up in truck stops and going to school, so they literally got into gangs. So by the time I came back, my gangbanger nephews and I all live together. So now we're getting in fights at school, and now it's my freshman year, and I'm living in Anaheim, and everyone doesn't really realize that like Anaheim, there's some nice parts, but there's some really not nice parts.
Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
When I first moved here, somebody told me, "Hey, Anaheim's not bad," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I lived off Brookhurst and Ball.
Oh, right on Ball and Euclid.
Dude, I was like right by that fucking bowling alley right there. First fucking day, I'm moving into my apartment. I get to the top floor where we're on the 2nd or 3rd floor, whatever it was. And I could oversee this alleyway behind the bowling alley.
And dudes are getting beat up.
Dude, no, dudes are fucking shooting themselves with God knows what. Dude's got his fucking pants down, getting shot in something. And I don't know what the fuck was going on. I'll tell you, then that very night, we heard a drive-by. And I remember calling my grandfather going, I think I made a fucking mistake. I really did. But then I ended up meeting my wife within a month or two, and she was from Yorba Linda. So she started scoot me into the right areas. So that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. It's
But I get it. I get the
it
Anaheim
can
job.
be a seedy spot. So I started there, and then after that, it was I couch surfed. I felt bad for my mom. She could take care of mentally disabled people. That's what she did for a living, and so she could stay at the place. It was like a live-in facility, and there was like a big home in the front, and then it was like apartments in the back, and everybody was mentally disabled, but they're pretty high functioning, so she could stay there. So on the weekends that she wasn't working, she'd be like, "Where do you want? You want to go Huntington? We can stay in a motel." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Oh, this sucks, dude." She's like making money so that she could pay it for me. I was like, I'm more of a burden to my mom than.
So she could try to.
Yeah. So, so I ended up moving back to Alaska my freshman year of high school. So now I've got half of my freshman year in Anaheim. The rest of it I'm in Alaska. So I go to Chudiak High School, and now I'm getting in fights, and it's like it's the new kid. And I'm like,
Brought the Anaheim to.
yeah, and so I'm getting in trouble, and they're like, "Hey, dude." So we come back for vacation, and I just didn't go back, just stayed. I was like, "I'll do this on my own. Like, I'll figure this shit out." I'm 14 at the time, so I started couch surfing.
Just with like buddies from high school.
Well, no, we stayed on in a motel. It's still there. It's in Huntington Beach. It's on 7th Street and PCH, and at the time it was like Surfing Motel. I think it's still there. I don't know if they call it that. But behind it was a liquor store. It was called Pasha Liquor Store, and the guys were Palestinian. And when I went, when we were staying there, the weekend that my mom was there, I walked in. I didn't have any money on me, and there was a little thing that had cigarettes for 25 cents, and I was like, "I'll get a cigarette." I was like a kid, and they sold me a cigarette, and I realized the guy was like the same age as me, but he's a Palestinian kid. Palestinian, I love those guys. They're crazy. And so, oh, brother, like, fuck. And so they were really funny. And then I came back. I literally just went down to where the liquor store was at. And they're like, "Hey, dude, we'll give you $20. You want to like, because I was just sitting up front. We'll give you $20. You want to stock the beers?" And I'm like, "All right."
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then it was like, "Hey, dude, if you find any of these bottles or hits," I'm like, "Okay, cool." So and at the end of the night, I didn't know where to go. And so like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, and they're like, "You want to go eat with us?" And I got any money. They're like, "Oh, it's okay, dude. We'll go buy you Taco Bell." So they were cool. And I realized like, hey, if I can get back down over here, well, I'm sitting out front, and one of my buddies from I was a little kid, Ryan Bailey, comes in. He gets out of the car. He's like, "Bro, what's up, dude? I thought you moved." And I think I'm a gangbanger at this point. I forgot that part. So I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" And he's like, "Why are you soft pulled up so high?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't even know."
What
He's
you
like,
doing the Cholo fit set, dude?
"Yeah, for real." So he's like, "Bro, I thought you moved to Alaska and stuff." "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, this is my buddy Mike." So Mike was 16. I think he was like 14, 15 maybe. And so I go, "What's up, dude? Cool truck." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You got anywhere to go?" And I go, "No." And he's like, "Bro, you can live in my garage. We don't even go in my garage." So the best part is Mike Reynolds' sister was dating Tito Ortiz.
Oh,
We're in high
that
school.
was the fucking opening.
So what year are we in?
God, 94, 3.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, like
All right.
maybe younger than that. Because I was like a sophomore now.
So Tito has a little bit of age on you, though, right? So he
Yeah,
was already out of high school.
No, he was in high school still. He was still in high school.
He was coming to high school,
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. He was a year. Yeah, he was ahead of you though. I think he graduated in 93 or 4. I was supposed to graduate like 95, I think, or 96.
Okay.
Yeah. So long story short, the wrestling comes back full circle because Tito is looking for people to put together for the LA Games for wrestling thing. Mind you, we're in high school. And my buddy Mike wrestled. And so he goes, "Tito," he's over there, he's dating his sister. He goes, "Rob used to wrestle." "Oh, you may." And he tries to take me down in his living room. And we get into a scramble and fighting hands. And stuff.
You and Tito.
No, me and my buddy Mike.
Oh, right.
And Tito's watching. He goes, "Hey, bro, you got good hips." That's all I had, like validation from it. He was like a tough guy too. And I was like, "Yeah,
That's good. That's a good.
So after that, I was like, "Dude, it's on." Like,
Now, were you aware of who he was at this point?
He wasn't anything.
He was in it. He was
I know, but I mean, but he was like a wrestler.
Oh yeah. No, he was a good wrestler. He was huge.
And you were
Was it really?
He was huge.
Didn't he wrestle 52?
He was huge, and he was
Like,
like,
as far as high school,
yeah,
yeah.
and he was like,
I mean, he had muscle and shoulders. He had
His
like his
good.
traps were like, yeah, his traps are in his head.
So what? So you were. How much did you weigh
How much that weigh?
at that point?
Probably 135.
So what was Tito?
Oh, dude, he was huge. I
190.
say huge, but he was probably like 170.
That's how.
Yeah,
well,
but
they,
that's huge for that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember thinking 152 was just a big.
I think, oh,
You know,
yeah. I know.
Yeah.
My son's 164 right now. He's wrestling. I was like,
So you wrestle your buddy Mike. Tito says you're good hits. What happened?
After that, then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, now everybody's like, hey, dude, mind you, I just thought I was in these Hispanic games, right? Oh, you never know, eh? So all the buddies now are going to school that I grew up with, are now in high school. Now we're in high school, and they're in this thing called straight edge. They're in straight edge game, and I'm like, oh, and one of my buddies' big brother, who I knew when I was like younger, was like kind of like the head guy, the leader. So they're like, yeah, they're going straight edge. They put X's on their hands. They listen to punk music, specific like bands. They don't drink. Some of them didn't have sex, and that was the thing. But they got in fights.
So it's like
all the time.
But they fight
a good game.
All the time. Yeah. So I was like, hold on, time out. Wait. So all my friends that I grew up with are on this thing. They'll listen to music together and they fight people.
But they don't fuck.
Well, then I realized, some of them don't.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them make me. So I was just like, fucking weirdos. I'm going to eat and fuck chicks, dude. I'm like taking off the Vato slippers and pulling my socks down, and I'm like, all right, so we're going out, and I'm like, what? And this dude, I remember we were at Taco Bell, and this dude's like a big guy, and he's a senior, might go like a sophomore, and he's like, oh, he said something, and I was like, what'd you say, dick nose? And everyone's like, oh, and I was like, oh, like this guy, he's not like a 30-year-old cholo with a knife. I'm gonna sock this guy in the face.
Now let me ask you this:
Did
you still have some kicks and shit? Like you still had that with you?
I, in the back of my mind, always for some reason, because like watching like kung fu theater and shit, like I'd be around kicking and stuff. So I thought like I thought I could kickbox from the beginning.
Gotcha.
So and then like having a little bit of kempo in it was like
yeah.
So the primary thing at this point was wrestling.
Nothing really. Really bad. I just wasn't scared to fight.
Yeah,
I just wasn't scared to fight.
Which is everything.
So I wasn't scared to fight. Now I think that was the one part that just kind of go, all right, keep going. And I liked one of the things about my dad is he ran every night. He'd run 10 miles. And I was a kid who go back. I was young. I was scared of the dark at this point. So he would run through like the wetlands. If you're ever driving down PCH between like Warner and Golden West, it's all marshy wetlands.
Yeah.
We lived over there. He would run through that. And he'd go to the pier and turn around and run back. Damn, so I'd be like, can I go with you, Dad? And he'd be like, sure. And he if I slowed down, he didn't stop. So
were you barefoot?
No,
So you were already building character at a very early age without probably even knowing.
Yeah, so I don't really talk to my dad that much these days, or in general. I didn't really grow up with one. But at the end of the day, I attribute that to he ate really healthy. You know, he was he was a warrior, and the fact that he was in the military. So his training was that's what he did.
So he did lay a foundation for what was to follow.
Yeah. So and I do that with my kids now. It's like, hey dude, because they're not gonna do what you say, they're gonna do what you do. So it's like, hey dude, we're doing this. So we're going to the gym right now. Okay, cool. Do whatever you want when we get to the gym. I don't want to be that guy. It's like, like I watch all these guys that's like they're pushing on their kids to do this stuff. It's like, bro, they're just gonna they're not you. Like just, right. So it's like
but I will say,
it's gravitating back now.
I was going to say, because one of the things that I do attribute to my dad is I went through a phase, because he started me when I was 5. And I went through this phase, like in high school, I was like, man, dude, I just want to spend time with my friends, dude. I don't want to go to Taekwondo class every night. You know what I mean? I want to go to wrestling every night, but it was always you're going.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I appreciate that he did push me through that little stint, because if not, I mean, I may have left it and never come back.
Really, like you nailed it. You said character. It builds character. You start doing stuff you don't really want to do, and then after a while, you're like, hey, it's kind of cool. And I knew eventually my kid's mom was an adult film star. So I knew at some point that was going to come up as my kids were getting right, especially with social media. So I was like, hey, dude, let's get ahead of this. And she was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you want them to be sad and cry and like, I'm going to kill myself. Or I'm going to be like, I don't say anything because he might kick our ass. Yeah. And like, then he has the option if he wants to do that. So I don't want him to be a victim of this. And she was like, you're overthinking this. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm a guy.
You're right on.
Trust me, I know. So they started really young. They both started at 3, doing gymnastics and then wrestling and jiu-jitsu and then obviously striking. So I had them, doing their thing. And now they just do their thing because it's fun. And I'm like, cool, all right. My son's like, I want to wrestle. I'm like, no, you don't. I was trying to talk him out of it. No, it's hard.
Wrestling.
No, I want to wrestle. I'm like, yeah, you're not cutting weight if you're going to wrestle. He's like, all right. I'm like, you can get huge.
I'm glad you said that, because the weight cutting, back in our days,
it's a mental, dude.
It was so fucking bad. I mean, I even know some of my good buddies that, were state champs and national qualifiers, stuff like that. You can tell by looking at them now, as they're matured adults, that their growth was stunted. You can 100% tell. And I don't know how to explain it, but I bet you if somebody did some type of physiological and psychological study on, there's something there in regards to the weight cutting. I guarantee.
1,000,000%. If I had a plant and I don't put
Water
it and I barely give it a little bit of sunlight here and there, it's not going to go to full maturity. It's going to be this and that's, and you can this and that with it. Physiology, that's what it is.
When back in those days, it's like, my mentality is, you weigh 130, okay, cool, 103.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you weigh 170, okay, 152.
Yeah,
like you just add you just subtract the 20 pounds is how it is nowadays. It's like, what do they get? 6, I think. I think they get 5 or 6 pounds or something along those lines, and then they also get tested in regards to their hydration and all that.
Yeah, they weigh first.
God, they did that. But then you also have people on the other end of the spectrum that's like, well, you're making them all a bunch of pussies. Like, no, dude, there's a fine line between being cautious and not being a pussy.
Don't they do a rehydration now right away after a fight? I think it was after a weigh-in. Didn't they just? I just saw something recently with Mackenzie Urine, where she just fought
she's won about
10 days ago.
Yeah.
But then I think it was with her. I saw something, and I didn't read the article. It was on social media about she had done the rehydration test. Was it after the weigh-in or after?
Well, I think it's the rehydration test before she was in, correct?
Yeah. So they implemented that. Then this is a new thing, right?
It's fairly new.
Yeah. Because obviously, even Connor, I remember seeing him before some of his early fights 10 years ago. I mean, he looked scary.
When he fought fucking at 145.
Well, it was one fight. When he was fighting in 145 bracket. I mean, he looks scary.
When he fought Aldo, he got real skinny in the face. I mean, he looked almost dead.
Yeah.
Like he did.
Yeah, and then he got it all back, but that's why they did that too, because I think it gives them, the organization, a heads up on like, hey, we might have to use a swing bout if this guy doesn't make it, right? Because
but also they can have good fighters along the way, maybe in lesser known promotions, 1 or 2 passed away, and they said it was because dehydration. I remember, in the smallest
passed away.
No, there was 1 or 2. I think
could have
maybe like something a lot lower promotion. Yeah.
Well, dehydration.
But we've had people that There's people that have to pull out all the time because of that. I mean, fuck, dude. Like, there you get to a certain point. I don't care what the fuck you say. You're not losing that extra 2 pounds.
Yeah, your body will shut off.
You literally will fucking go blank. Like, I remember watching that in Tough One when Bobby Southworth lost all that weight. Now, I don't know. We all don't know what the true specs were in regards to that. But when he started saying, "I'm seeing fucking stars and I can't see right now," that's a real fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's not him being a puss. I mean, let's hope not. But I don't think so. I think he really was probably fucking not able to see.
He was probably so dehydrated, The first thing you start your vision start
and then I
faint.
watched that episode, and nothing against Chuck or anybody. I think it's fucking awesome that and Koscheck that they had him make weight. I'm sure he's very happy they did it. You could not get away with fucking locking somebody in that fucking sauna on television. You could not. There's no fucking way. As soon as you see Koscheck grab him by his fucking feet and drag him into the fucking sauna, and then you see Chuck putting his shoulder up against the door, dude. Nowadays they'd be like,
we're like, that's it, we're done.
Yeah. And it was a black thing that they screamed. It's like, you could not get away with that nowadays. There's just no fucking way.
Yeah.
So let's go back to where you were. You're wrestling with your buddy. Chuck tells you have, Tito tells you have great hips. Take us from there. What happens? Where does it go?
So we ended up being the straight edge guys now. So now I'm couch surfing. I stayed at Mike's house for a little bit. My mom came with the police, was like, "Hey, you're not getting the tax write-off." Goes off on Mike's mom, and I'm like, "Tax write-off?" Like, Mom,
you didn't even get it at that
I was
time.
like, I'm enrolled in school. And the cop's like, "Hey, he's going to school." So I ended up leaving, and then met a girl while I was with Mike, and moved into her house and with her family. And so live at their house for probably a year or so, and not really training or doing much at the time. Actually, no, I take that back. While I'm at Mike's house, Mike drives his mom to work one day and comes back and goes, she works in Orange, and he goes, "I got on the 55 freeway and I saw this place called LA Boxing." He's like, "Went in there, it's got weights and stuff." And we like lifting weights in the garage. So I go, "Bro," he's like, "Dude, next time let's go in there." So we go into LA Boxing. So my friend was walking in LA Boxing. The guy at the front's name's Chris Goldman, signed me up eventually, but I still talk to Chris to this day. He goes, "Hey, man." And I go, "Ah." So you guys come in on a guest pass. That's totally cool. We lift weights. We go back like maybe 1 or 2 more times. And one day the guy, Chris, goes, "Hey, man, the owner's not here. you're gonna have to get a membership, bro. Like, what, give me $100, we'll figure it out. I'll get you $100. All right, I'll come back. I'll get you. He's like, all right, you want to take a class? And I'm like, and he goes, it's a bad class. Let's start. So I go, all right. So he wraps my hands, and I'm going, oh my God, like, this is horrible. It's like, I feel so tough.
That's fucking.
Yeah, like a box full of them, sweaty ones. So I feel super tough. I take the class, and I remember hitting the bag, and the guy was like, hey, kid, you got a good kick. And I was like, I'm going to be world champion. I'm not letting this go. And I just kept going back. So eventually I had to got $100 and signed up for the gym and started there at LA Boxing Costa Mesa. It was the very first one.
So didn't LA Boxing end up being like 24-hour fitness or some shit like that? Or?
No, well, they a guy went there named Anthony Geisler, and he was going to USC Business School, Marshall School of Business. Just found out he had this tech company and made a bunch of money, and overnight lost it all because they changed the regulations on gambling. Remember, gambling is really online.
Yeah.
He lost $1 million or something overnight. He's driving through. He's gonna freak out. Sees LA Boxing. Same thing. Doctor's like, hey man, you should probably start working out because your stress level. And he realizes, hey, you have to take a business to full, like, as part of like your business school. So he's like, I'm gonna take this as like a franchise model because this is kind of cool, right? He's been there for a while now. He's like, this is kind of cool, and he starts franchising LA Boxing. So he got like 85, and then he sold it to the UFC gym.
Got you. So when did the LA Boxing turn into like full blown fucking training with Tito and those guys?
It was funny because so I started, and then Tito ended up going to college, and he went to Bakersfield to be a PE teacher, where he was still wrestling, and he was training with Tank Abbott, and Paul Herrera, and he was Tank's training partner. So while Tito was there, I forget which UFC it was, a guy he had wrestled in college and beat was fighting, and his fight fell out because the guy got injured. So they're like, hey dude, you want to fight this guy? And you get, I think it was like 10 grand or something. And he was like, yes.
So wait a minute, was this his first fight?
Yes.
Who was the fucking guy?
I forget who it was.
Was this an official fight or a smoke?
No, this is UFC.
This UFC, dude. We're talking
he's there. So Tito ends
Just
up
holding
that
that shit, right? He was probably there just
team partner. So he ends up fighting, getting in UFC. So I remember seeing it on like a VHS tape, and I'm like, this is fucking Tito, dude.
It's like UFC like 5 something, 3 or something. When was that?
Yeah, like they might have been 3.
3 sounds familiar. Yeah.
So I had like 1 or 2 fights now. I have 1 or 2 fights, and I'm working at. They opened a LA Boxing on Beach and Adams and Huntington Beach, and so I trained in another gym too with Clever Luciano and a guy named Mauricio Castillo who passed away. And Mauricio taught Thai boxing, which I didn't know Thai boxing. What's Thai boxing? It was a punching and kicking. All right, this is cool. I can dig it. And there's some knees in it, there's clinching. And then Clever
UFC 13.
13.
I knew the
Threes was in there.
May the 30th, 1997.
97, okay.
Yeah, I need
So long ago, bro. 30 fucking years ago almost.
Was the guy's name Wes Albritton?
Yes.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
So he beat. So his thing was he beat Wes in a wrestling match.
Essentially.
Yeah. So he thought, well, fuck, dude, I manhandled that. I'm smoking.
Now I can punch a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which, I mean,
that's pretty funny.
Yeah. He fought Guy Nesco, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think Guy won, right?
I believe so.
I
And then they
think so,
rematched.
yeah.
But so fast forward, I'm training at another gym. The guy who I'm training with doesn't speak really good English. He's Brazilian. And he said, Hobby, they're going to open a gym. I teach you. Come with me. And I'm like, it's like, you be my assistant coach. And I'm like, all right, dude, I'll go with you. It's right down the street from the gym I'm training at. So I go down there. Guy doesn't charge me. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. And I'm like, all right, guys. He's doing like the traditional. And I go, all right, guys, here's the combo. I'm teaching the guy. He's a center. He's getting paid for it. And I'm like, we're going to go 1, 2, body kick and then switch kick. All right. Well, I realized very quickly that this is like an experience, right? And most of the people in the past, this is the 90s. This isn't even a thing yet, right? Cardio kickboxing. Well, kind of like Tybo, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Billy's got it.
Yeah, Billy, that guy's a legend, right? So, with that in mind, I'm like, all right, this is kind of fun, but what do you want to do if you're a kid in the back? Like, listen to music. So, I'm sure. All right, guys, here. I show them the combo, make it really simple. Left, right, left. Right kick is super simple. Punch and kick. Turn up the music. And I hit the timer. Ready, go! Bing, bing, bing. And I just walk on to everybody. Good job, let's go. Well, eventually, they're like, hey, dude, your buddy, why don't you teach the class? Like, he's getting paid. Why don't you teach the class? I'm like, oh, he's my instructor. He's my coach, dude. They're like, all right, cool. Well, we're going to put you on the schedule. I'm like, And the guy goes, hey, dude, I have my hands out. I'm about to take a boxing class. It's a bad class. He goes, why don't you teach the class, Rob? And I go, He goes, here's $20. I live at my friend's house, so my friend, all right, guys, jumping jacks, and that's how I started teaching.
So funny though how you say the guy in the back with his arms crossed.
Yeah.
Because that's like a typical old school Muay Thai coach too.
It's kind of, it still goes on today. Quite
Who was it that was telling us the story about the dude fucking laying in the back?
Okay, this old Chinese tradition, in a lot of cases, not all cases, was that the old kung fu master, whatever style it might be, I mean, China, they have Shaoja, which is it's wrestling.
Yeah.
It's actually, and they're very good at it. So people relate everything to kung fu as in, it's more performance, but they have a lot of stuff in there. Like
the Sanchu.
Sanchu, dude, those guys can fight.
Yeah.
They can fight. But anyway, traditionally, what a lot of kung fu masters would do, they'd come in, they have their students, and you already know some stuff. Then you go in and you start kind of reviewing or practicing or whatever you're doing. If you're a new guy, they'll show you a couple of moves and you're practicing that. And then they go back and they sit down, they smoke their they smoke their opium or whatever. And that was a very traditional, common thing in those days. And the guy they're referring to was, and it was Chuck Sullivan told us the story, was Jimmy Wing Woo. And Jimmy Wing Woo he was a good martial artist. He came from China. He was legit. He knew a lot of stuff. And he came from Lao Bun. Lao Bun was a Hong Sing Choi Fuck guy. Hong Sing with the triads. And of course, Ed Parker.
It's your little straight edge gang, dude.
There's the 5% that you don't go. If you go down the alley, you want to be going down with them, not through them. That's the triads. But Ed Parker wanted someone to help him teach the classes. So he reached out to Lao Bun, who he knew, and he went up to San Francisco. This is going back in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
And Lao Bun, at that time, traditionally, your instructor had to give you permission to go teach or help. It was all, which is a good thing in one sense. It showed you had respect, but it also showed the instructor had total control over it.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't allow you to do certain things. But anyway, Lao Bun said sure, and he came down. And of course, Ed Parker walked on the mat, he trained guys. He was active. He around the mat and boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And maybe you sit down to drink a water or have a break or something. But
you're up there moving.
For your 1 hour class, you're up there pounding somebody or being pounded and moving around, walking around the whole thing. So they didn't get this Chinese guy comes down. He just kind of goes out, shows them whatever he shows them, and then he just goes into the corner and he's smoking. And they're all looking up.
The way that Chuck
said so,
it's so good the way he says it, because he says he's got one leg up in the air and the other one sitting on the
because that was a stretching technique. They used to stretch like that, where they do the stretch and cross them. So he's getting
that's how
he's kind of
could you just imagine Tito's teaching you how to do all that shit, and then he tells you. Yeah. And then one day he tells you, look, dude, you can't be fucking trained.
What would happen today if you were with Tito Ortiz and you walk in? This is kind of a random question related to what we're saying. What if you're with Tito? You get together, you guys have a lunch. He says, Rob, I want you to teach a wrestling class or an MMA or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or just it doesn't matter what it is. He wants you to teach something. And you go in and he's there, but he's with you, but you're the one he delegated to teach. And you go in and you show these guys something, and you go back and you sit in the corner, you light up a joint, and you just smoke the shit out of it. And then you get up 10 minutes later, you show them something else, and you walk right back to the corner, sit in the chair. What would he say? What reaction would you get?
He's a really good coach. He's super charismatic too.
Yeah.
So he is a really good.
No, but what would his response be when he saw you doing that?
He's the kind of guy who would do it, not saying. He'd just be in there teaching the whole time, anyways.
Yeah.
He's just that guy. So.
But it'd be weird for him.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna blow his mind. Like, what's up with Rob?
What the?
But back in the old time in the Chinese,
it was like normal.
That was when he came down here. They're all American guys. They're like, what the fuck? Yeah, it blew their mind.
Yeah.
But of course, Chuck tells it in such an emphatic way because he experienced it.
Chuck's a good dude.
Now that said, I have some Chinese Sikhs and they've never done that. I in the slightest. But they've never done that. They're as active as anybody and they're watching. And, one of them, particularly, is a little older. So, he'll sit down just because he's 87.
Like Danny Inosanto, I'm sure sits down. When he
Yeah, he do all the time.
Yeah.
Danny Inosanto sits down and then he'll get up and do something, or he might call it out. But you won't see these guys smoke joints.
Yeah.
And lighting, you see there's a shade in the academy because there's so much smoke around the lights. You won't see that. But that was a very, in some cases, a very traditional way of doing things.
So when did you integrate with Tiki? Because it's all like kind of at the same time, right?
Yeah. So
Because Tiki was fighting as well, correct?
no,
He wasn't fighting yet.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a member at the original LA Boxing Costa Mesa, and they opened up. I went from that gym to what they called it Brazilian martial arts, where we did Thai boxing and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I did Jiu Jitsu. I was like, yeah, it's fun. I remember my buddy was a blue belt. He was the one that brought me there. And so I was like, dude, this guy's like fucking ninja. It's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. And I remember a few times we were at a party and he's like, bro, you stay at my house. I'm on his couch and he wakes me up. He's like, hey, dude, here. You're my He's like, here, put that on. I'm like, go on, try some stuff. So I'm putting on a gi on his carpet. He's like, here. I'm like, sure, yeah, let's go. Yeah, these are great bars. Cool. So he's the one who really got me into like that. And he was when we had like VHS tapes of watching the fights. And I was like, dude. And then one of the places I lived at in Huntington Beach was on 18th and Walnut Street, and right up the street, Chemo lived there. The guy with the good.
Oh, fuck.
Chemo Bulldog.
Chemo, yeah. Chemo and Joe Song. They were my neighbors. So I would see them walking down the street, and they're huge.
Chemo now.
He's still around. I follow him on Facebook. Yeah.
Is he around here still, or is he?
I don't know if he's in Hawaii now.
He's in Hawaii.
Yeah, he might be in Hawaii. He's around though. I've seen him. He's still alive. He had like double hip replacement stuff. But he was
a fucking savvy guy.
Bro, but they were doing crazy stuff back then.
What do you mean by explain a little bit? What do you mean by
they're on so much stuff that everybody knew. Like they're on painkillers. Like
that was a thing, right? I mean, there's so strong. Hold on a second. The movie with the smashing machine, man.
Yeah.
The documentary. I watched that 15 years ago.
So here's a question for you. Why were they, and I have my own thoughts on this, but I want to hear it from you who was there.
Yeah.
Why were they in so much pain? So why I ask is because,
it's the training.
You're fit, you're in shape.
It's not the fights, it's the training.
You're not supposed to be in pain. Like you had a guy like Mike Tyson who was fighting and he was coming up and he was at his peak in the mid 80s and into the 90s, but he was not in pain at that time.
Yeah.
So why were these guys in pain? What was happening?
I think it was overtraining and then just being on so much stuff because it was still like the bodybuilding world of like Boyce was a martial artist. He did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and he was gonna get everybody in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then like everybody came in with their different disciplines. He was there still trying to rank. It wasn't MMA. They called it no holds barred at one point.
Yeah.
So it was like he was a bodybuilder guy.
He didn't know much yet.
Yeah, he was a bodybuilder. Was tough, and so it was like, hey, dude, this guy's tough. He looks good. He's got to get right, and he didn't do jiu-jitsu. So I was like, here, we got to hold this guy with Chuck. I think that's really what we look at. It's like,
look at because of the juice.
I would say so. There's a lot of
stretch
on your tendons.
I think it's
getting really big.
I think if you really look at it, it's a little bit of everything. We have so much knowledge nowadays on, hydrating, days off, what to do when you're training, when to do actual, sparring, hard sparring, things like that. Back in the day, dude, it was just, who gives a fuck? Let's just go hard every fucking day. If we're sparring, we're fucking sparring.
Yeah.
There's no protective work in regards to keeping this good. So when you go in the next day, regardless if you're fucked beforehand, you're still going in to fight hard. It's like, again, think about it this way. We know if you have like a massive strength training day and you just destroy your system, your CNS is just taxed. You're not going to go have a crazy sparring session later that night. It's going to be more of an easy type.
Why were they doing that?
That's all they did.
Because they had coaches.
It was pure grit.
So here's a question. You had a guy like Hoyce Gracie,
who,
like you said, was a martial artist first and foremost and always.
Yeah.
And he was probably, 170, give or take?
Yeah.
But he's about 6'1", he's tall.
Yeah.
And he proved, and you can say, yes, he has jiu-jitsu that uses leverage against the bigger opponent or the smaller one, but it's about leverage and technique.
Yeah.
And of course you need the spirit too. Because a lot of those battles were, you go those early UFCs, I mean, there's never been tougher battles. Yeah. Because what they did later, as you well know, they put in weight categories, and so you're fighting a guy your own weight.
Yeah, there were no fucking rules.
But
feeling the nuts.
The first UFCs why do you think? I mean, we can't answer this. Who knows what was going on in their head? But the steroids didn't add to their skill set. It just added to body weight and maybe a
It
little
depended
bit
what they
more.
were taking.
So
Honestly.
why did they need? But I mean, it didn't add to their skill set. You either knew how to grapple and punch and strike, or you didn't.
Yeah.
And
it was found out quickly.
yes,
Once their luck changed.
and it was proven that a guy like Hoyce, who was a slight guy, but even if he was a bigger guy, didn't matter. The weight didn't matter. Proved that a guy that didn't take juice, didn't need juice, a guy with the heart of a lion, with the background that he had, you could win with that.
Yeah.
So why did these guys feel the need to continue to take juice? Did they just want? Because in the early UFCs there was no weight categories. It was a 175 and 300 pounder.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
why was that? Do you think? Because it didn't serve the fight.
Yeah, I don't think like you were saying before too. I don't think the science was really out too. Now you can quickly look up a search and find out what's going on around the world in like 2 minutes. Look on Twitter and you're like, no way, did you know? So like the sharing of information, people are like, oh, that's not good. But bigger muscles need more oxygen. So not that better cardio. Oh, that's not good for fighting. Let's throw it out the window. Yeah. So people didn't realize that. That's going to be big, strong.
But didn't we know though? But didn't we know on a basic level to be good at something? If I'm in the gym and I'm juicing and I'm lifting weights and I'm doing all that, that's good for that.
Yeah.
But if I want to be good at this, I got to do this.
I think it was like a mentality back then of
didn't they just know
it was tougher.
You
know what I mean? I don't think again they didn't, and I think that's what Hoist really opened people's minds.
Well, in my opinion, Hoist was the toughest in the show because he went without all that stuff.
Well, if you watch some of the fights that had happened before the UFC, where people would go in to challenge the races, those are the ones to watch that kind of blow your mind.
Yeah,
like those are the real tests. But the one that always pops into my mind when you're saying there are no rules, that dude that's getting punched in the nuts.
That's Joseon.
That was Joseon.
That's Joseon. That was his neighbor. That's the guy that put my name. That was the guy
where the dude was just fucking Keith Hackney. He was fucking on the balls, dude.
Yes.
And that dude had nuts of steel because he didn't even flinch.
Yeah.
Fucker didn't even flinch.
And Keith Hackney, interesting enough, was a Kempo.
Yeah.
That was his background.
Yeah.
Keith also took out the big old sumo guy with that fucking face.
Yeah,
dude. He was aggressive. He was like 160.
Yeah.
Now here's a question for you that's interesting. When Hackney, who I never met Hackney, but I mean, so I mean, of course, I'm now thinking of the fight with the big. He was the Samoan, right?
Samoan.
Yeah.
But he was what 400 pounds.
Yeah,
he was 6'4" maybe.
Oh, he's
It was a big guy. So I don't know. Even if Hackney's 220 and 5'11", he's going to look small beside the guy. So I don't know how big
he was 160.
Hackney was only 160.
I think he was
that face kick. He was on his knees. Holy shit,
man! That started hit him off.
Yeah.
Now there's something to be said though, but there's an example of, and of course it can be a combination of both. But did Hackney just have great power, and when he hit him with that shot, he had enough power, or was this guy just susceptible and had a bad kind of a jaw? Because the weight difference is a lot, and it wasn't like. He wasn't a striker like Tyson.
Yeah. Tyson was just trying to get a hold of Hackney. Yeah. Hackney, he stayed out of his distance and found the openings. And so when he popped him in the face, man, that was it.
I think a guy that's really big is never going to be pushed. Everyone's like, yeah, he's a big guy. So what's he going to do for training? He's just going to be a big guy. So he's going to eat and be like, I'm going to land somebody. And he seemed like he was like a really nice guy. He's like, I don't want any more.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done. And then he gets kicked to the face 4 times. Like, I'm done, dude. Yeah.
It's like the big guy who was it the same guy who fought Hackney who fought in the first UFC and got the Dutch kickboxer kicked him and took his eye out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was that the same guy?
No,
it was a different guy. But that was another big guy, and kind of the same thing. He got a smack and he went down. You remember the second UFC?
The Dutch kickboxer was a black guy, and then there was a guy that was a white guy.
It was a white kickboxer
and then there's old boy that come in with his boxing.
Yeah, and he fought when Hoist choked him out later on.
He worked for UFC gym.
What's his name? Oh God,
he's the nicest guy.
Yeah,
he would show up every time we'd open a gym. He'd show up with the one glove. He'd be like, "Oh, what's up, Art Jimerson?"
Art Jimerson,
nicest guy, dude. Nicest guy.
The one glove though.
He's around here locally, dude.
He is.
Yeah, he was working at a UFC gym in Torrance for a while. And he'd come in like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" I was like, "Oh, what's up, dude? Got the legend."
Yeah. I mean but those first 3 UFCs, they really opened the door. I mean, to to realize what really works.
Well, everybody thought they were going to see Bloodsport, jump, spin, and hook kicks and everything, and it turned out to be totally the opposite.
Well, but it's gone through phases. If you watched it, it was like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then it was wrestling, and then it was these guys were kickboxers, and now it's like everybody's got.
Did it go through those phases, in your opinion, because every so often someone who's just better at a different discipline turns up, or is it just the way things work in waves? One day, like you have jiu-jitsu, then you have wrestling, and then like why has it gone through those phases? Because each competitor since, let's say, UFC 15 or 20, they all at that point knew I gotta have a combination of punching, elbowing, striking, kicking, grappling. I gotta have some good defense takedowns. So almost everybody's going in with an equal amount. Now, that doesn't mean they're equal on capability.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's happened?
Well,
like, for example, you saw Wonderboy Thompson.
Yeah.
Great kicks. Leona Machida.
Same.
Traditional. Great kicks. Boom, boom, boom. Was it that, or was it that Randy Couture put out with the front kick?
Yeah, front kick him in the mouth.
But I don't think that would have happened so much in the early UFCs.
Yeah.
It just seemed to be different.
Yeah, once you realize a guy is good at grappling, for a striker, it causes hesitation, right? And what's that saying? That fear causes hesitation.
Yeah, you don't want to go down. Take down. Yeah.
Well, it's hard though. It's hard to fight a guy who's really good at striking and is very comfortable on the ground.
Yeah.
Because when you to strike him, you got to go right into medium range.
Yeah.
Well,
unless you're 6'7" and he's 5'8".
Yeah.
When you look at when you look at the certain generations or the certain time periods, when you had Tough One came out, I mean Diego, Koscheck, those guys, that ground and pound mentality was out, and I feel like that they realized very quickly that if you had that, if you had wrestling in your game, you were going to be able to dictate where the fight goes at that point. And I think that ground and pound mentality stayed like that for a while, but I think what happened is it got boring. It got boring for some people. And I think that's when Dana kind of upped it, hey, we're going to have
performance of the night.
Yes, that kind of stuff.
KO someone.
Yes.
Well, there's nothing more exciting than seeing someone get knocked out with a punch or a kick.
Yeah.
You look someone ground and pound. If a guy's ground and pound somebody, the inevitable's there. Especially if he's landing the shot.
If you don't know grappling either, you're like, stop pumping on. It's like,
it's like, dude, you don't know what you're seeing.
Yeah, you don't know. This is the guy who got out of that, but people don't.
Even when I was younger and watched, because I understood it even at a younger age, and I'd hear people like, dude, just fucking let him up. This is pussy shit. And it's like, why the fuck would he let him up? It's a fucking fight.
Well, it never happens in a street fight. Going back to when I had a street fight in Ireland when I was 6, 7 years old, you got the guy down. It was instinct. You kept him down.
Yeah.
You didn't let him up. And sometimes you let him up, then he gets your ass kicked, and you learn very fast. Well, next time I'm going to keep him down.
Yeah.
Right. But let's go back to you. So
I'm going to take a piss. We're going to jump back in. How we doing?
What time are we at there so we know where the edit is?
1:20.
1:20.
Yeah. I'll put it on my phone.
Are you okay on time?
Yeah.
How much time? When do you need to be out?
I got to be back. I got a 3:30 private.
So 11:20, right?
Yeah, 11:20. I got a 3:30 private. So what?
Where are you located?
Huntington Beach.
How long will it take you to get here?
Probably
Usually
an hour 15.
We'll be out in an hour. You'll get back in probably 45 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my buddy said, he goes, on the way back, he's like,
Yeah. Cool. So do you see Tito these days?
I just took him to
You look a bit like.
No, he's way bigger.
No, but in facial, the forehead, the kind of shape.
I had the faux hawk for the longest
At
time.
a quick glance, oh yes, you're right. He's way bigger.
Oh, he's huge. He's huge.
What is he? 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, he's like 6'2", but just like he's just a big human.
What does he walk around at? What, 235, 240? Blah, blah?
He's probably about 230 now. Yeah.
So that's not bad because he's, like you said, he's a big guy, so he's not really fat. He's in shape.
Yeah. He still works out, so
Yeah.
he's teaching wrestling. He moved to Florida, so he's teaching wrestling.
Oh, he's not here anymore?
No, he moved.
Wasn't he running for the mayor?
He was the interim Huntington Beach mayor, and then he realized that politics is really dirty.
What are we talking about?
Tito. And so at that point, he was like, hey, yeah. He started getting like death threats.
Why did he move to Florida?
A couple of years ago.
Also, he's been gone. I didn't know he moved.
Yeah.
Ah.
The other day, it was funny because I was driving and I was going through, well, I shouldn't do, but I was on my phone as I'm driving and I'm like, Tito's in the but glad to be home. So I was like, hey, bro, let's grab dinner. And I was teaching. It was like a random Tuesday. And he goes, yeah, bro, I'm doing a podcast, blah, blah. And I said, cool. I teach till like 7. So I hit him up and he's like, let's go. And every time we've gone out, it's always some crazy something. And I was just like, I just saw you got baptized and religious now and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy. So, because I've been that guy for very long. So I pick him up. I pick him up and I go, where do you want to go? And I kind of opened ended, right? Do you want to go to like, you want to go out? Or you want to dinner? He's like, up to you.
That's all.
I go, yeah, dude, got the double. And I'm just like, all right, I know a nice restaurant. I'm going to go to Gulfstream. You go in there, it's super.
Gulfstream?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
So
Yeah,
good.
but
So
you know,
good.
the thing is, there's a lot of people have moved out here because of the policies.
Well, yeah, well, he, I think he knew, he didn't say this, but I think he knew there's no more big fights. There's no more big $100,000 paychecks coming that, right, he was getting. So I think he's going to give it all to the state and government for taxes and
Yeah, I want to see millions over
Hey,
there.
I liked his idea when he called out Chael.
Yeah.
Wrestling match. I thought that was actually pretty dope, dude. I think that I'd watch that, dude.
I know.
I'd watch them wrestle, dude. They don't have to beat on each other. I'd watch a wrestling match between those two.
I think he knew he was going to save money, so he ended up going there. But you
Well, in
that
his case, he's
like,
going to save a lot of money because he makes a lot of.
yeah,
You see, that's the thing.
yeah, you're in a different tax bracket, so
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
pay more in taxes.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
and he's got a family. He's got
He's
two.
going to save $1 million by being there.
And he sold his house that he had gotten, and he had listed for like $6 million, and he ended up getting like a little over 4, is what I heard. But he goes,
How
I'm
much did he
paying
pay for him?
Probably nothing back
Yeah,
then.
not much.
Yeah.
Did he buy
Not
it?
much more. I mean,
So he made probably $1 million on it.
yeah, he made the money. From my understanding, he was taking that to go get another house, and he's still got money left.
And
So I was
dude,
like,
that
oh,
was
that's
Florida,
a great
dude.
idea
You
for your
can-
family. Yeah,
You can get some bomb houses
Yeah.
for a couple $100,000, bro. Like
he's been a mentor to me since I was a kid because he started fighting, and I watched the whole thing. Right, I was
Well,
already fighting, but I was like,
let's just go back a little
Yeah.
bit. Because some of this stuff we talked about will cut.
yeah, we'll keep it in. Who knows?
So when you were in the restaurant, it was
can't really mess with him.
Yeah. So let's go back to yourself. So you start wrestling, you start training the boxing gym, start doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So take us from there. Where are you going? How did things unfold with Tito? What became
fighting talk.
So the professional fighting came because now I'm just training. I still live at my buddy's house, and I'm teaching classes. And the general manager goes, hey, if you want to open up in the morning, if you sell a gym membership, we'll give you a percentage of it. And I go, all right, I'm going to go to the gym in the morning anyway. So I'm going to teach the 9 a.m. class anyways. Just come at 8 and open up. So I was like, all right, cool. So I ride my bike down in the gym. I open the thing. I ended up selling membership 2 or like 3 a week or whatever. So I'm making a little bit of side money. And one day this guy comes in. I'm sitting there. It's a Saturday. And he walks in with the Puerto Rican guy. Walks in and he has his kid. Freddie Madrano was his name. Walks in, looks around. His son is all looked out with his bandana and he's carrying a bag. And he goes, hey, man, you got any sparring for my kid? And I go, how much does your kid weigh? And he goes, well, he's not a member. So like, I should have been like, no. I go, it's like same, like 140, 145 or something. I go, I'll spar with him.
Sign the waiver.
He looks at his son and he goes, all right. He goes, can I video it? And mind you, this is in the 90s, so the video camera's this big. And I go, sure. There's no one in the gym, just me, him, and his dad, Freddie's dad. So he puts the tripod up, sets the whole thing up. I go, yeah, so I jump rope a little bit. He's in there, he's moving around. He's like, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I thought he knows what he's doing. So I put on my chin pads. Mind you, like my idea of sparring was just like, at first it was like, you just kind of thrown and like you're trying to take people's heads off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The old school.
Yeah, well, you don't know. Like, when later on you realize like, oh, there's like defense and footwork.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. So I haven't had any fights yet. So I haven't fought yet. So I get in there, he videotapes. I have a videotape of it somewhere. I think I posted it somewhere.
Dude,
And,
yeah, post on a cap.
And yeah, we're moving around. I realized now he was toying with me. He was peppering jabs and inside leg kicks and moving, but I kept cutting off the ring and trying to throw big right hands. And we did a couple rounds and he goes, man, what'd you think? I go, that was fun, dude. He's good. He pulled out a bat. He has like the ISK, California State Kickboxing Champion. And I go, that's your belt?
No.
And he was like, yeah. And I was like, that's cool, dude. And I was like, he goes, do you want to fight? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'll get you a fight. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he goes, all right, keep training. We'll keep training. And then I was teaching the fucking class.
Yeah.
And I'm hitting the bag. So I was like, okay. So he got me one smoker fight. So with headgear and shin pads with John McVale. And he was out in what was it? John Wayne Park, the famous kickboxer who lived there at that time. I didn't realize that at the time. John McVeigh was in El Monte, I think El Monte or something like that. But he was in a church. So I ended up fighting this kid named David Blocker, and he was like a Taekwondo guy, I think. But right before the fight, he jumped up and did all flashy kicks, and they're like, "That's the guy fighting." I'm like, "Oh no!" And it's his birthday. And I'm like,
And it's his
birthday. I'm like, "Oh, whatever." And he
came out on his birthday.
He was way bigger than me. And I remember they gave me these shin pads, the slide-on ones, but the whole bottom,
old school ones.
the whole bottom was covering the ball.
Fucking hated those.
So I couldn't make any traction with my foot. So I'm like slipping around the fucking ring. So I remember like moving. I'm like, oh, and I'm trying to hit him with big shots, and we're going back and forth. I ended up winning a decision on his birthday. So I was like, oh, whatever. I won.
Birthday.
And I get out, and the dad goes, "What'd you think?" I go, "That was fun." He goes, "You want another fight?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Keep training." And I was like, "Okay." So we had headgear on and shin pads.
And this is amateur.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And it
No, it was shin pads in a church.
Gotcha.
And so I went, and then so the next month, it's January 97, January of 1997. It's the same weekend of the Mike Tyson fight. I remember this because I fight at the Four Queens.
The Tyson Holyfield too.
Probably.
So June 97.
No, I think it was January. That was the belt. It said January.
Well, it was the same time as the Tyson fight. Well, then was
I
it?
can't remember.
What year was it? 99?
97.
Tyson didn't fight in January 97. He fought in November 96 and June 97. He didn't fight in January 97.
So maybe
Was it 99?
No,
You're sure it's 97?
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Because I have the belt and it says 97.
So it's not the same. Well, if it was the same week as a Mike Tyson fight, it was June 97. That was Holyfield Tyson too.
It was January. It's January.
Then it's you're lining up with someone else.
So after the fact, so I ended up fighting, and it's like we're fighting at the Four Queens. So I went from shin pads hitter to 8-ounce boxing gloves.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, all right, cool. And then I'm fighting for a title, which I was like,
And at that point, you have
my
no
first
shin
fight, dude.
Now there's no shin guard.
No chin guards, 8-ounce boxing gloves, and I fight one of Master Toddy's guys, who's Master Toddy's like.
Master Toddy, yeah.
So I fight one of Master Toddy's guys, and he's huge, dude. You look like he was like a Middle Eastern guy. And he has the wrong, like, he's doing the whole thing. He's doing the dance. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, all right, yeah, just let him do his thing. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, all right. Just as I was walking out, too. Just as I was walking out right before that, the guy that I lived with walked into the ballroom and they looked at me and I'm like, and I winked at him. I'm like, but I was like, I think back now, I was like, I felt so comfortable. I think after this, too, like years of like therapy of the way I grew up, it was like, I felt really normal.
Yeah.
In a really chaotic place. It felt like I was at home. And that, which is like, do they like, oh, I was like, nah, dude, I thrived at that. Yeah. To me, I was like, I thank my parents.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're psychos. Thank you. So anyways, ended up fighting that guy and he hit me. I threw it overhand. I clipped him on the jaw and it was like a haymaker. Like that was my thing. I kick the leg and throw haymakers. I hit him with a right hook. He kind of like this. And then I hit him again and the ref's looking at me and he goes, ah. And I was like, knock this dude.
And that feeling was probably.
And I got $100. So I was like, oh, fucking $100. I got a hotel room too. So I had a hotel room and $100. And I think I paid $60 for a flight there. So technically,
You made $40, dude.
I made $40.
You didn't have a trainer at the time.
No,
baby. No. So you made $10.
Yeah. So all my buddies are there, and we're on Fremont Street, which is like old downtown Vegas. And it was the same weekend as a fight. I thought it was a Tyson fight, but maybe it wasn't. But it was a big fight because I had a pass, and the pass said TNT Fight Promotions, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, nice.
So I have a little bit of shiner because he did connect. So I'm walking around my buddies, and we're walking like Glitter Gulch and some other strip clubs that are down there. I'm like 18, I think. And so they're like, oh, did you fight this weekend? I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, go ahead, dude. So I think they thought I was on the undercard of the big fight. So everywhere we go, they're like shuffling us in. And I'm like, yeah, cool, this is awesome. I woke up in the morning with the worst hangover I've ever had. Like I was like splitting head and I had like $40 in my pocket. And I was all, dude, all right. I was like, all right. Then everybody I had to leave and go back home. And I was like, all right. Came back and I won a big trophy. So I have this trophy and now I'm teaching class a little bit shiner. I'm like, all right, guys, serious. And now my workout's a little bit harder.
Now you got some accolades.
Now I'm the fighter guy. And it was shortly after that Tito showed up. And I had a sparring class going on. And it was like 6 p.m. sparring class. I would spar with everybody too. And he walks in, I'm like, what's up, Tito? He doesn't really remember. I'm like the guy from the thing. Oh, yeah. I was Heather's brother's roommate. You guys, okay, yeah. He's like, what's up, dude? I got to get that stand up. I got to get in there. I'm like, I'll spar with you, dude. And he's like, yeah. I go, where do you run? I had a 5-mile course I used to run. And half of it was in the sand. So he's like, oh. And I go, bro. So now he's back. And I go, I just saw your fight, dude. That was awesome. So we start training. You put together team punishment, and that's kind of how.
That's how it all. So you pretty much started that whole.
Well, it was his.
In a way, though, it was a connect.
Yeah,
right.
It was. I was the stand-up guy, and then everyone started coming there. Well, then I'm already fighting, so I have right. People are like, all right, cool. And they're like, Razor, who's your coach? And I was like, well, I'm training with this guy. Yeah. And then Tito's like, bro, come to my coach because I'm being selfish. I want to be a pro fighter. I want to be world champion. So I'm on this mission. And I'm like, I don't want to stay and just pad you and be that your guy that's following you around. Yeah. I got my own thing. So there were times where Tiki and Tito both fought. I think it was like Atlantic City, and I had to fight the same weekend. I think I fought in Burbank in a Muay Thai fight. So I was like, dude, like we trained together, we cut weight together. Obviously, I didn't grapple with them, but I did all stand up with them. But they went to Atlantic City, and I fought in Burbank. And at the end, we went back to parties. Like, yeah. But so I realized like I didn't want to be a coach. I wanted to be a fighter. I had this mission of like, all right, I'm gonna do this. No idea to ever think I'm actually making money. Like,
when did you get? When did the WEC come about?
WEC
came. Did you get a call? How did that work?
They remember at one point they took out the lightweight division in UFC.
Yeah.
So I'm fighting and I think I fought in K1.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas. I broke my hand, and I'm trying to remember when I broke my hand. Oh, the very first Muay Thai professional fight. I cracked the dude. Second round, it was a 5-round fight. Broke this thing. Sat down in the corner, and I go, I think my hand's broken. I'm like, yeah, use your left. I was like, all right. I fought William Sertai. The guy's got over like 300 fights. He has a stud. I ended up fighting a couple times. Won that fight. So now I got a professional intercontinental Muay Thai, the IMTC title. I'm like, yes! And I got like $3,500. Maybe $3,500. And that was mostly through ticket sales. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. And Tito was like, hey, bro, don't you like want to make some money doing this? He's like, I get you a fight.
Because at this point, he was in the UFC. He was hammering people.
Yeah, he's hammering people in the UFC. I'm a stand-up guy. Mm-hmm. And now I'm a stand-up guy. And
he knows the gifts you have.
And now he's doing the instructional DVDs. And the guy's like, bro, he's like, it's my stand-up guy. So now they're like, who's your stand-up guy? Yeah. Now it's all over Black Belt Video, right? My ads are in there. It's like Razor Rob's. They called it they broke it up. They called it ultimate striking was one of their things. And then
you're talking about the ones with Chuck and Tito?
No, it's nice. Yeah. So I had ultimate striking. I think they made like 3 levels to it. So I broke it down. Like,
this is like Black Belt magazine.
Yeah. And then it was Black Belt Video. So they're the one who bought it. Because I was getting residuals, and like every couple of months I get like $250. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, hey, they want to buy the rights. And I was like, it was through IM Video, and then Black Belt Video wanted to buy it. So I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, fucking dude, are you kidding me right now? I was like, Jesus! So I was like, to me, I was like, all right, this thing's kind of fun. No, not still thinking I'm going to make any money doing this. So I'm like, all right, I read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm like, all right,
Kiyosaki.
how do I make my money make money for me?
Yeah.
I'm like, I like fighting. I like training. That's what I'm a gym at. So I like training. The fighting thing's kind of fun. I'm selling tickets. So I got a couple different revenue streams of all kind of going out to my body though. So how do I make my money make money for me? So I'm like, all right. So it was that, but watching Tito diversify his stuff, I like, hey dude, like all of a sudden you're getting fat paychecks. You need to get all the tax man, or are you gonna start a business and right to diversify that a little bit. So it was,
and like Tito had that personality too, that like dude was just. He had, that aura. Whenever you're around him, you could feel it.
I remember I would jog over. I lived in an apartment down the street from where his apartment. So I jogged down there one night. It's dark. He's sitting in the dark, and I go, "What are you doing, dude?" And he's like, "Oh, hold on, dude. I'm almost ready. I'm talking to my fans online." And this is in the '90s. And I'm like, "You have fans online?" That's awesome. Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, hold on." So he's like, and then on the background, the TV. I still remember the apartment's like dark. He has like the WWF, and I'm like, I hate that shit. But he loved it. So he took like that personal. So he had an idea. Then he was like, hey, dude, I gotta keep some of this money. I'm gonna sponsor it. I'm gonna do team punishment. And he Punishment Athletics and his whole clothing brand. And he was making at one point $1 million a year. So that was his whole side thing. So in my head, I was like, all right, dude, it's kind of a mentor to business here.
Yeah.
What we should be doing. Yeah. To me, I was thankful to have.
And didn't you? Maybe I'm wrong, right? I forget. But didn't you also? Weren't you a coach on Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, twice.
What was what seasons?
I think it was season 10 with Tito. I was Tito's striking coach. Me and Sal Solis versus Chuck Liddell, and then season 14 with Michael Bisping. That's striking.
That's the one I remember.
Was if you ever watch that season, it's probably the most comical season because we just pulled pranks on each other the entire time.
And how's Bisping? I've never met him.
I love the guy. He's a maniac. He's a maniac.
Yeah.
Good. Lucky I'm keep all stories myself. I love that guy. He was really funny with his accent.
Yeah.
My buddy friends at Tiki goes, hey dude, when I met Tiki, he came into the gym and he goes, what do you do, bro? And I was sitting behind the desk and I go, oh, I teach kickboxing. He goes, oh, I go, yeah. He goes, oh, you fight? And I go, yeah, stand up. He goes, oh, I do jiu-jitsu. And he grabs this kid that was working there who was like 14 or 15. And you ever seen this? He's like, and I go, yeah. Well, come on. I can see this. I like a late kid. The kid's like, ah. And I was like, is that your truck? And he's like, he had like a brand new Dodge, the new shovelhead one.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I go, that's a cool truck, dude. And he goes, yeah. Have you ever been to a strip club? I don't know what you go, dude. It's like that. There's one down the street. And like after that was like literally probably,
Dude, I swear to God,
30 years of going every night.
I swear to God, I think I saw Tiki in Irvine a couple of months ago at, believe it or not, in my complex. I swear to God, I saw him. It's near Irvine Spectrum. It's like the little, there's a new complex over there. And like I saw him, we locked eyes for a second. I'm like, is that Tiki? And then he walked away. I'm wondering if it was. He's in Irvine sometimes, isn't he?
I'm sure he is. He has a brother. He has an older brother, and you look very similar.
Maybe it's his older brother.
Yeah,
Because I was like, and then he walked off, and I'm like, dude, I think that's Tiki. But
Good man. I don't
I
know.
don't know, man.
He probably would recognize you, though. I think.
Maybe I don't know.
So when you were training with Tito,
Yeah.
you guys had the team. What did the training consist of? Take us through that.
Well, we had days where we would do striking. So, and usually we'd split up like 2 days. So it'd be me sparring with a bunch of dudes, and then everybody doing stand-up stuff. And then we started implementing takedowns into it, or it'd be a day of like lifting and cardio, typically right, coinciding with each other. Or we would do like MMA sparring, or we go like, so we have different days, or we go wrestling. We went to like Golden West College to wrestle with the wrestling team. And I was just doing that strictly to try to get my hips and my hands better. And then realized the thing that I wasn't doing until after the fact was putting myself in really bad positions and then trying to
work out of them.
Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, good luck trying to take me down. Because I was like, oh, where's the shit? Stuff the head. I know it. And then I lost the fight, and the guy goes, I came back, I had a shiner, I was so pissed. Dana watched the fight. She was on the Indian reservation. And the whole way home, I was like, fuck you. That fight should have been in UFC. I was like, I know.
Wasn't Dana hounding you at some point? Wanted you to come to
And he was the one that said, he goes, hey, bro, you know I'm the biggest fan. I was like, bro, thanks. He's like, Tito said he wants you to have a couple fights in like small shows before UFC. And he was dead right. Because
because he managed Tito.
Yeah, that's how we all knew each other.
Yeah, and then when he took over at the UFC, was that real? Were those two kind of one?
Yeah,
that's real.
Yeah, if you still talk, I still talk to Dana. Yeah, it was like.
He doesn't like Tito.
So when you were training, you guys, because a lot of people always say Chuck and Tito always sparred when we were up and coming and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Chuck always got the better. That's what they say. That's kind of the thing that's out there. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's true or not.
Yeah.
But were you privy to any of that? And was that part of when you guys were trying to bring in other fighters and say,
they all came to Tito because he was the man. So that was the thing I didn't realize at the time was I had world-class grapplers, jiu-jitsu.
He was just your buddy. You guys,
yeah.
So show off your name too.
Really funny.
Who was coming in there?
So Chuck Liddell and Scott Adams would come down and sleep in the parking lot in their Chevy S10 to train with Tito.
God, I love that fucking shit.
God, who else was it? It was literally Randy Jordan brought Matt. What's his name? Matt Linden. Brought Matt Linden.
Matt Linden was good too.
What's the other name? Yeah. Oh, dude.
Damn, was good. Yeah.
So they would bring their other dudes, and their other dudes were stud wrestler guys, and so they're like, hey. So I always wanted to stay because the thing you realize in a gym is, like at that time too, was there was the strikers who all thought like, oh fuck these guys, like, and then all the grabbers like,
I'll take this.
I'll take the So I always wanted to be like, I want to be able to hang out with both the circles and be like, I was a stand-up guy, so I was like, hey, I'll stay, I'll go with you guys, and we do like. I'll go with the person. Hey, I'll go with you. And I remember just getting fucking worked. God, what was the guy's name?
But tell me this it's true. When you're a wrestler, you fucking want to know how to stand up better. Like that's like it's like
well, if
fucking dick complex. It's like I want to be able to fucking stand up better. If you're a fucking stand up guy, you're like, fucking you know.
Not necessarily. You have to be open minded. I know a lot of wrestlers today go, I could fuck this guy up. Did you ever strike?
Well, yeah, but they all go.
I know a lot of strikers go, you know what? I know a lot of boxers And they're tough dudes. And if they hit you, you have a problem.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit more to it than that if you're up.
Yeah.
And they'd say, you know what? One guy actually said to me, and he's a genuinely tough guy. I mean, he's had a lot of fights. He boxed a lot. Like, he can punch anybody out. He said to me, you know, I relate all martial arts to pussies. And he says, you want real fighting? Get in there. He said, because he said, you can get submitted, you can get choked out, you can get all that. See, none of it hurts like getting knocked out.
Hurts. You can fucking die.
He said, I'm just saying what he's saying. He's saying that the most humiliating thing, for me, I think in a lot of cases, depends on the individual, the most humiliating thing could be just being defeated. But if you're smart, you learn from that and you grow. So ultimately, you never lose.
Yeah.
Every defeat's a learning process.
Yeah, 100%.
And you only learn when you lose.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're winning, you're not learning because you're just winning.
Yeah.
But he says, you get stung and you go out, it's like a bee sting. He says, it doesn't take 10 seconds or 12 or 8. He says it takes a split. Boom. There's nothing more humiliating. He says, you get choked out, it takes 15 seconds.
Yeah, you know what's funny
I'm
about
just
that?
saying his thoughts. So there's some people who still think
I get
on
that.
both sides.
The funny thing is, I would say the complete opposite. What is very humiliating to me is because if you've been choked out and you wake up, you just realize if there was no fucking referee or we weren't buddies, you're dead.
Yeah.
You're fucking dead.
But
You didn't keep going.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're fucking dead.
Yeah.
And that's where sometimes I feel like, you know, it's martial arts. We do have people out there that are just in their own worlds. They don't know sometimes the real fighting concepts. Like they don't know the reality of the situation.
I know some people that do, and they still think it's
Really?
No. They know that. I know guys who have 50 fights, and they go, nah, that's all you need. You don't need this.
Slam them.
I know. Well, Joe Rogan just said something in a podcast. I don't. It was recent enough. He goes, you know, someone had said boxing's the best martial art, and Joe Rogan was like, yes, it is. If you're boxing.
Yeah.
But if you're up against a wrestler and he's going to pick you up and slam you on the ground, and he can do that before you can knock him out, then it's not the best martial. Did you see that clip?
No, but it's true. It's true, though,
it's
right?
very true.
Yeah.
But go back, did you see any of the rivalry between Chuck and Tito? Because clearly they were friends at that time.
Yeah. I mean, we're all boys.
Or was that rivalry more later when it became competitive?
It became competitive at a point where Tito was just smoking dudes. He was the guy. He was like the golden poster boy for UFC. So I think at some point people were just like, hey, dude, like, I'm fighting guys too. And so they were training, and it was people didn't know that Chuck was a really good, he was like a Division I wrestler. Right?
Yeah, he's a real good wrestler.
Yeah, I think he was wrestled like Cal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right? Yeah. So, yeah, he had hips. He could wrestle, and people didn't know that. I thought he was like a karate stand-up guy. And he just did that to loop you in, like you couldn't take him down.
Yeah.
So he was a small ball.
Wide-ass stance.
Yeah, and he would throw that hook, and then he'd kick you with the left.
Yeah.
And he'd set you go this way, and
That's who he knocked out Babalu with that.
Oh my
You
god!
know,
Kick hit him in the forehead.
Yes.
You know who fucking through that like better than anybody to this day is TJ Dillashaw. Oh, if he would he'd bait you in, switch the stance, sidestep out, and bring that fucking. Oh my god! And it was he was fucking talented.
Yeah, bro.
TJ is.
He was on our season in Ultimate Fighting.
I remember that dude. To me, he was the guy. Like he had every gift that you could imagine. That dude was fucking solid. It's just sad that he blew his shoulder out and all that shit.
He's tried so much to try to fix it. Nothing will get it done, which sucks. But yeah, he's
TJ's
his footwork, his setups were like, bruh.
And it's like so crazy to think that he was a wrestler first.
Yeah.
And stand up became what he was known for. Well, everything. He was known for fucking everything. But like, it's just crazy because he almost in a sense like Dominic Cruz had his own style.
Yeah.
Of stand up.
Yeah.
But TJ was just on another level, dude. I don't know how to explain it. That dude was just
he was
playing chess.
It was fun to watch. On the Ultimate Fighter, it was like, I remember I asked, all right, because when I went on before, they had to fight each other to get in.
Yeah.
So with Tito in season 10, they had to fight each other to get in, and then the guys who won, and then we got to pick teams. All right, you're on our team. You're on our team.
Yeah.
Well,
good old days.
Yeah. So on this one, it was 30 dudes, and they all got to fight each other, or 15 dudes. They had to fight each other, and then the winners of that. So they're on our teams. So we're watching them fight, and I said, all right, you want to corner us? So it's like our corner, the blue corner, and the red corner. And TJ's in the corner, and I go, all right, well, what do you do? And he was like,
what are you good at?
MMA. Yeah, and he goes, MMA. Yeah, thanks, bro. I mean, we're in Vegas, so like, this is like,
Yeah, dude, we're in an MMA fight.
First night in Vegas, visiting was like, oh man, you got a family? I'm like, oh, I got a family. He's like, see, I got a family. And my buddy was like, hey, bro, just so you know, Tiki was like, you taught me how to party. This dude's gonna make you look like a preschooler. Okay, guy. So then the night before, the very first day of visiting was like, hey man, like, what do you think? And I was like, oh, he goes, you know, maybe we go grab like a drink. That was like the fucking famous last words. I was like, wait a minute, you just have about family and working out in the morning.
Now you want to
And then he's like, yeah, he's like, we'll just get one. I'm like, you're making this worse, bro. I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, fast forward here, fucking the whole time. So it was in trash. So the next day is when I'm like, all right, so what are you good at? He goes MMA. I'm like, oh, okay. So there was like a card that had their names on it, and like, what? So I was like, who you train with? He goes, you're right. I'm like, so you're a wrestler? And he's like, yeah, I wrestle. And I'm like, I don't fucking say that, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I watched him and I was like, oh, dude, he wraps his hand like a boxer. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he's got like, okay, he wrestles and he's moving around and he started throwing kicks. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's got some kicks. And then I watched him start subbing dudes who were black belts. And I was like, okay, maybe he's got a good top game jiu-jitsu. And then he's on the bottom. I'm like, this kid's fucking good.
Then he starts fucking kicking.
Well, that's what I was like, oh, this is the next generation.
Oh, yeah.
Holds.
Yeah.
There's this one like this. And I'm like, I didn't go like that.
Actually, if you really think about it, yeah, TJ was like, he was that next generation that came through, started young, knew all the tricks of what was working, and knew how to start honing in on that. Yeah.
It's I read a book called The Rise of Superman, and it talks about that. It's like, hey, what have we done as humans? Have we grown wings or anything? Nothing's changed, but the internet. Everyone's been able to watch stuff and go
like the 4 minute mile type thing.
Yeah, you can do that. Oh yeah, well I'll do this. Well, you can do that. I can do this. And now you know it's possible.
Yeah, because like
you're pushing that.
Because like for the longest time, people could run. They thought it was impossible to run a 4 minute mile, and then nowadays high schoolers do it.
Yeah,
and that kind of makes sense. Yeah. No, but TJ, man, I wish we would have got a little bit more out of him. You know what I mean?
I know. I was like, oh man.
Did you train with him a lot? Or
yeah.
Because he trains over in Huntington Beach too.
He trained at our gym. Tiki manages him. But he was on our season, and at one point he's like, bro, like there's a bunch of fighters sitting around in the house. They're not allowed to like read books or anything. I don't think they're allowed to watch TV either. So they're just sitting around and they're bored. And then they start picking on each other. And he came in one day and he was just like, oh, bro, this is a fucking nightmare. And I was like, yeah, that seemed like a nightmare to be. Yeah. In a house with a bunch of dudes, you don't know if you're going to fight them or not. And like trying to be cool with them. Yeah. By the way, you can touch my fucking toothbrush. Like, that shit. And so he had beef with some dudes. And I'm like, bro, just come into practice. I'll pat you and, fucking integrate you back in slowly.
So that's how that whole.
Yeah. So we're doing pads and shit. And I was like, oh, this kid's good, dude. Yeah. He's quick. But he made comments about like business wise. And I thought to myself,
what do you mean?
Well, like, hey, he's like, hey,
the UFC in general?
Yeah, I was like, hey, dude, I want to make sure that because they got $5,000 to fight on the show.
Yeah.
Outside of
and it went on the record, right?
Yeah, it did. And so obviously after that, they're like, well, if I fight on the show, I get $5,000. But if I fight this dude in
I'll get $100,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I'll get 50, 100. So and I was like, oh, you're like a fucking businessman too. And I was like,
okay, it's a career mentality.
Yeah, so with college. Yeah. So this isn't like, hey, I fucking do New Game and I'm fucking jacked and I'm gonna fucking pick you up and throw you. This is like, hey, I'm fucking mixed martial. I'm a like, MMA athlete.
This is my career.
I'm an MMA athlete at this point. Yeah. So yeah.
Have you watched any of the footage of him in one or two other training? I'm sure you've seen it live. I've seen it live. Yeah, bro. That's some of that shit. I mean, I would love to. I can't wait for one to get to the UFC. If he's wanting to do that.
Yeah, I think I saw something the other day. He was like, "Hey, you guys, like,
what's the criteria for the UFC? Is it who Dana thinks?
No, they have to. Well, there's like other level shows that are right before the UFC. So if you're doing well in those shows,
and he's in one right now. Yeah. So I mean, that's a fucking huge.
But I guess when Dana brings somebody in, he feels it's someone he can promote, someone who's got charisma. There's more to it than just being a great fighter. Yeah, there's a lot of great fighters, and so what? They come and they go.
Yeah, I think the reality is they have the Dana White Contender Series now, and they have Tough, right? And so that was basically UFC is a marketing machine. Yeah, it's not a fight, it's a marketing machine. You're
That's one
hey,
hell of a
yeah, you're gonna fight for this, but it's because we're gonna make you someone there who's in their name. And then if you got a cool story about it, then that's even better. It's like, oh really?
Well, because I mean the contention doesn't even make sense either. I mean, like this guy's number 1, this guy's number 2, this guy's number 3, 4, 5, but 5 could beat fucking 2, and he doesn't even move up at all. He might even go down to 7.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not really. There's no real rules of the road there.
I think it's just guys that are marketable and obviously can fight, and then look the part too.
And that's the business sense.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to put butts in seats.
And of course, the real big one in the last 10 years has been Conor McGregor.
Oh,
I mean, he's superseded everybody, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah, I watched his fight at Madison Square Garden in New York
When he fought
Aldo.
yeah.
Oh, when he knocked him out.
I was like,
seconds.
I was like, there's no way Aldo was gonna kick his ass.
I thought Aldo was going to take his legs out from under him.
I was with a bunch of the UFC gym franchisees. We're in a booth, and I'm like, bro, Aldo's like the real deal. Like he hasn't got a guy who's the real deal, and he smoked him. And I was so okay. Never mind.
What's interesting, I see him in the room before, and he simulates a pop.
Yeah.
And the step and the left hand.
He knew he pissed him off so much by talking so much shit.
That he was going to come in with that right.
Out of him. Yeah. He baited him perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, everybody remembers the left hand Conor hit him, and obviously that's the one. But did you see that Aldo caught him with a good left hook?
He even took it.
Jacked his head back.
He had a shot from that, and that was one hit.
Yeah. When I left that arena, I went back to it looked like probably I'm gonna assume like a World Cup would be like everybody had Irish flags, everybody was out in the streets. It was fucking nuts, and I was like, holy shit, he really brought
McGregor's also
the whole world
a big one.
He's a showman.
5 though.
Yeah,
He's 5'9", right?
He can never hit 145 again. That's a big.
For 30 million, he'll hit
I don't know,
145.
dude.
I don't think he needs money anymore.
No. But that fight there, to me, is what really catapulted him. Because at the time, I remember watching it and not being a McGregor fan.
Yeah.
I actually thought, I remember watching him, I love it now, but I remember watching him riding on the bike and he goes, la 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 la, it's the motherfucking deal. Do you remember that part?
Da 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 da
The punch.
It's
They
the
made that whole
motherfucking
meme or
deal,
whatever.
double G.
And seeing him be so disrespectful and shit, I remember watching that and like being irritable at first.
Yeah.
But then watching him fight and then seeing what he did afterwards, dude, I became a fan almost overnight after that.
There was that the Netflix, I forgot what it was called. About
Notorious.
Yeah.
That was a good.
I'll be honest, I wasn't really a fan up until I watched that, and I was like, oh, which I thought was funny is he started in 07. For every scene, I was just like, oh man.
He could have fought.
I think what we need to see, though, we need to
He
see.
just started.
He was an amateur.
He just started. No, I think he just started training in 07.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah, he just started. Probably at his first.
But I think what we need to see Nate Diaz McGregor 3.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we will see that.
I don't know.
I think we're going to see that.
I would be amazing. It's probably a catch me.
I think it needs to be a ball.
You think this White House fight's gonna happen? You think that's really going down? Because he fucking turned off his social media, dude. That's not like him.
I heard, but I don't know.
Who?
That'd be the
McGregor turned off his social media, and the claim is that he's training like he's trained before.
For who?
He did an ayahuasca trip, and now he's ready to fucking roll.
For who? Training for who?
We don't know yet.
Oh, like the
he
White
claims he's doing the
Yeah,
White House.
the White House
Yeah,
event,
he's claiming that that's what it's for. But I've also heard weird stories that like Rousey's coming back for that, and like I don't know.
I saw videos of her admits she actually looked good.
Yeah.
But
Better than in the day for sure. For sure.
Yeah, but who's she going to fight? I mean,
Who knows? I mean, she's a superstar. She can put butts in seats no matter what.
yeah.
I mean, she could come back tomorrow and butts in seats, dude. And for the UFC, that's huge, you know. But
She changed that. She changed that whole. She pulled in so many females. So all those girls that were gonna maybe play softball were like, I'm gonna wrestle.
yeah.
Girls wrestling.
but where her downfall came was she believed her own hype.
Yeah.
That's where the downfall came because she was even going around saying she could knock out Floyd Mayweather. Like she actually could. That's not just her saying. She was believing that.
Yeah.
She thought she was going to take out Holly Holm 10 years ago.
I mean, I think she can.
I watched that one live and I was like, watch, she's getting kicked in the head. And I was like, no way. I was like, I'm telling you, dude. It was in Australia and I was like, I'm telling you.
Yeah, Holly's fucking
11 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm sitting there and he goes, oh, there it goes. See, I told you. And it was a 90,000 seat arena. And it was like, oh, you get her a pin drop. I was like, dude, I told you, dude.
And dude, I'll tell you the comment she made about the Floyd Mayweather. Do I think she could submit Conor or Floyd Mayweather within 15 seconds? Yeah, I do. I really think if she got a hold of him, I think she could. But is she going to knock him out? No, not going to happen. No. Do I think if she got a hold of him, he's going to get a fucking armbar? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
She's an Olympian now.
Yeah, I think she can, man. I think she could do that to pretty much anybody if she puts her mind to it. The problem is that Holly Holm trained specifically to beat that Rousey. And that's what everybody knew she was going to do. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised that I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. Who is it? She fought 3 times.
Amanda Nunes?
Yeah, no.
Misha.
Yeah, Misha. I'm surprised Misha didn't end up finding the key to beat her. Because Misha's very well rounded.
I know.
She was really good.
Misha, yeah.
Yeah, Misha Tate was really good.
So she took Holly Holm out in the first defense of the fight she won against the title she won against Ronda.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Well, she's a stud grappler.
Yes. You know who wrote, I mean, I think she's still doing pretty good as Rose Namajunas. I always enjoyed watching her fight.
Yeah.
I think the best female fighter of all time has got to be Valentina Shevchenko.
Oh,
I think she's the greatest female fighter
She's good.
ever.
she's
I think you have to look at everybody's talking about Ronda, this, Ronda, that, whatever. Valentina Shevchenko's been fighting since 1994 as a pro.
Yeah.
Or
That's
no,
what I'm saying.
2004 or 94.
Yeah.
But it's one or the other. She did 20 or 30 years.
2004, I think.
2004, sorry, yes.
It wasn't
20
even that
years.
long ago. I was watching one of the Tiger Muay Thai tribes. She was there.
Yeah.
And she did like a speech and stuff for everybody and stuff. Did you ever go do any of that? Did you ever get over there and do any of those?
I trained in Sijitong in Pattaya
Okay.
in 98.
Okay.
So I had 98, and then I went back and I did like a little tour of like the smaller gyms.
Yeah.
They didn't even have any in like Phuket when I went there.
Now it's like a huge thing.
Yeah, you know, like Gym Bros, you call it.
Yeah. It's like people go over there and do like a month-long camp that have never even done Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And they'll go over there.
I
and
remember
learn
back
it.
in the day on MTV, Ozzy Osbourne had that show, and his son went basically.
Yeah.
I went to like
Jack did.
Yeah. He goes, I'm gonna go do Muay Thai. And
I remember that.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool though, because when I was there in '98, there was no Americans.
Yeah.
It's like there was maybe a couple Europeans, but it was mostly Thai dudes. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I sewed a giant American flag on my shorts. So I was like, I'll go with that guy. I was like, okay, and just ragdolling around. I was like, oh, cool, this is awesome. But Thais don't spar hard. They grapple hard. No.
They'll clench and throw your fucking.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Whenever I'm playing around with somebody that's like that, dude, I'm getting most of the time. That's where I'm getting fucking.
Well, that's a very cultural thing.
You know what I mean?
Because there's a guy I work with, Kru Toratana, and he's Cambodian boxing, which is essentially the same as Muay Thai,
Yeah.
but they emphasize a lot more the elbow. But when he plums, every time he plays big plum, like you say, he move around and it's not that big. But when he
Grabs you.
yeah, he's like it's hurt.
Like
He's
a
like,
vice grip.
yeah, it's like a vice grip. Like they put a lot of emphasis in that. Yeah.
What did you prefer? Did you prefer Muay Thai, or did you prefer?
I loved the fact, like going back to what we said before, of walking into the gym and knowing that like there's a group of guys over there that think they're gonna beat up these guys over there. And I didn't want to be the guy who was one or the other. I was like, all right, dude, I want to be able to mix this all up, right? And be able to say, I can hang with these guys, I can hang with these guys. Good. I'm not gonna be an easy target. I'm not a big dude, so it's like I'm not gonna be an easy target. I had a bunch of sisters when I was little, so I was the youngest of all of them. So in my head, I was always like, oh, I have to stick up for my sisters.
Yeah.
Right, that mentality just kind of just kept going. I was like, all right.
Do you still wrestle and stuff nowadays?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
say,
yeah. I was trained this morning at 5.
Yeah.
In the morning. Yeah. I got that guy Anthony now. So
Yeah.
So we're on it. So yeah, and then after I stopped competing, I got a corporate job with UFC Gym. Flew around the world for 10 years doing that stuff. Along the way, I realized my jiu-jitsu was very defensive. It wasn't. So then I went on this whole quest of
Learning all the
jiu-jitsu black belt. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you do have your black belt jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So to me, that was like that's the evolution of martial arts, right?
Right.
If you would ask me before, hey, are you a martial artist? I'm like, no, I'm a fighter. And I read like, no, this is what feeds my kids.
Yeah.
This is my legacy to my kids and my students. And I was like, hey man, like I have so many students now that I look back and I'm like, man, like that's so awesome. Like God, Bryce Krause was my first fighter I ever trained. He's got a gym in Costa Mesa, California, Rising Suns. All a bunch of stud kids all competing, doing really well. So I'm like, man, Tyler Wombles, like these guys are like we're in kids classes, and now
Yeah.
they're on their own journeys, and I'm just like, man, this is so much fun. But you guys get it, like that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man,
Evolve into
evolve, right?
Yeah.
The evolution of like what this is. It's like giving back to, like, and you're never gonna know it all. And that's what makes it fun. That's what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's like, oh yeah, that kid did that. That was cool.
And where do you see the UFC MMA? I mean, is it reached its total evolution? Do you think there's more? Do you think we're gonna learn more? Do you think that we're gonna need to subtract rules because we keep adding shit? We keep adding rules.
26 of them out.
Yeah, we keep adding that. And sadly, the thing that happened with Aspinall, the eye poke, and that, that's a real. That shows you right there that you can poke the fucking eye. It doesn't matter, but But where do you see it going? You see it evolution anywhere? I mean, do you think it's there?
I mean, it's to the point where it's like, I don't want to say it's oversaturated because you just turn on the channel and it's like, but with this, I think it's CBS, right? CBS deal with UFC.
Yeah.
It's going to put it in everybody's home.
Yeah.
So now it's like, it's going to be there.
Do you think it's going to water it down?
I don't want to say because it's always going to be something. It doesn't matter where you come from. Yeah. You're always going to understand one thing. That guy thinks he could beat you up. I don't think he can. All right, well, let's see. Like, hey, put your bet on. It's like, okay. Yeah. So you're always going to get people that are going to want to watch. Right. So I think that's always going to be the thing. The evolution of the sport. It's just, what I hate to see is guys that lose the traditional martial arts path and go on this whole, I think I'm a rock star, and that guy gets all the douche, and it's just like, you're too young yet. Yeah. Bring it back full circle, bro.
It's like that quote. That reminds me of that quote that Joe Rogan said. A quote that really has stuck with me throughout my life. He said, some people, there's a lot of people out there that have some real talent and gifts, and sometimes they don't realize it. Sometimes they do realize it, and some of the people capitalize on it, and some people use it for a very small, minute part of their life. And they go out, they act like they're a rock star, they fuck a bunch of chicks, and then they just move on. And that's it. And then there are other guys that utilize that gift and build an entire life around it. And so I think that's where that would be the total evolution, right? I mean, to get somewhere like there and evolving as a human as opposed to just because a lot of the times these athletes get out of being a superstar. And I've studied this. This is what my background was in with education is where do they go then? Yeah. Because their entire identity, their persona, everything was a fighter. Yeah. And that's can sometimes lead to really bad choices, suicide, things like that.
Well, you're essentially an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course. So
you're an adrenaline junkie and now you need another fix.
Yeah.
And the worst part is if you get a soft tissue injury. So now you go to a regular doctor and he just throws a bunch of pain pills at you. And you're fucked. Now you got opioid addiction and you're like, Right, so that's what you've seen which is super horrible. There's a lot of new stuff coming out though, like nootropic stuff for your brain. It's like, all right, they're talking about psilocybin,
like methylene blue.
Yeah, methylene blue. Yeah. There's the psilocybin thing is still like kind of like, all right.
It's like,
there's the peptides with the BDNF. And
I'm glad you're bringing up that. Bringing up peptides because I think that's where, if anything evolves, I think that's where it should evolve. Yeah. Because
the future of medicine.
I am not. I don't believe in the, can't take this, can't take that, can't take this, can't take that. Do I think that any UFC fighter should be able to, slam themselves with 2 freaking milligrams of steroids? No.
Yeah.
But do I think that they should be able to take what they need to recover correctly for their fight? I 100% back that. Peptides, I think, are 100% a necessity in the fight game. And for some reason, we just we still have this stigma to where if you have to take that to do this, then you shouldn't be doing this. And that's just so fucking stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's a like you said, it's a stigma. It's like, people like, it's like cannabis too, though, right? People are so raised on like, and then you look at it, it's like, hey, dude, they actually can help a lot of stuff. Like you could use it for a bunch of other things. You don't have to be like an addict to it. Over addiction of stuff and over prescription of stuff is going to be same
with anything.
Yeah, with anything. There's some of the peptides that like that'd be like the GLP ones. It's like, hey, dude, you gotta be careful with
Yeah.
those because like you're not getting it from a medical professional who knows exactly what they're doing. And are
You're
you
getting out somebody making it from a bathtub. You're gonna have some.
and if you're not insulin resistant, like if you have right, that's what it's for. So people with type 2 diabetes.
Yep.
So
And that's gonna fuck you up in the long run.
oh, dude, now you're slowing down your metabolism, and now you thought like, oh, I'm taking 5 pounds. Once you stop, you realize like now you got 40 pounds.
Yes.
So what are you gonna do? Now you're
And that's what I'm saying. If it's regulated in the proper way, yeah, I feel like it needs to be done. You know, because otherwise, then guys are going to, dude, we're fucking humans. You look at anything, we're going to find a way to cheat the system. That's just that is a human mentality. Somebody, especially when it comes to putting money in your fucking pocket.
These resistance.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I just would love to see them. To be honest with you, I would love to see USADA thrown the fuck out. 100%.
I thought they were on their way out.
I think they are. I think their contract is ending, and I don't think they're resigning. But I would love to see something else come in. Obviously, I know Dana didn't want to have a hand in it, so that way there's no favoritism. So I get that.
Yeah.
But I would like to see something come in that actually makes it to where these guys can do specific things for the necessity of their health. Like, for instance, you have EPO, right? Fucking TJ got popped with EPO, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it's okay for somebody to go train in fucking Colorado at the highest elevation that does the same exact thing to your fucking blood cells as taking the CPO, but yet one's okay and one's not.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between natural? What's fucking natural? It's not natural also to it's not even natural to get in a fucking cage under regulations to beat people's asses. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's natural? I just feel there's something I think that's where the sport could evolve right there.
I agree. But if you even take it out of sports, it's just like for people in general, it's like I have 3 guys that train in their 60s. And it's funny, if you watch them walk in, they all move differently. And you can tell who was moving a lot when they were younger and who wasn't. And now just the way they move, like one like barely comes in and it's like this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, when it starts moving around, it's like, okay, you can throw punches out a little bit. Yeah, it's like, all right, cool. And it's like, you don't stretch much. And he wants to skip all the stretching. And I'm like, there's a reason you're doing like that, bro. Yeah. But it's like another guy's like, oh man, when you get older, and I'm like, bro, I'm 48. Like, not that that's old, but I'm like, hey, dude, you know, you don't have to feel bad. Like I'm on a bunch of peptides now. And I'm like, hey, dude, I feel great. I got my recovery is like this. Yep. And it's like, hey, I got young bucks that are just like, hey, dude, I'll grapple with them. I'm like, you're not getting me because I'm tired and old, bro. That's for sure.
Yeah, yes.
I'm not throwing in the towel like, oh, it's kind of tired.
And if the education wasn't there, then people would be fucking finding a background. I think having the education, obviously, you've been able to get the proper education on it.
Yeah.
You know what happens and what it does.
Yeah. And you've got to obviously, like you're saying too, you don't want to get it from somebody who's selling it on the bathtub. Yeah. Like, hey, you're doing this. You want to buy this?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to get it from somebody, a medical expert that's, checking your blood and saying, all right, here's where we're at.
Yes.
So you have historical data.
Yes.
That's the thing that I see with people. It's like, oh, I have a buddy call me, he'll name this at this point. And he was like, hey, man, I've known the guy forever. And he was crying. And I'm like, oh, what's your deal? And he's like, hey, bro, can you give me any tests? And I'm like, you think I'm a drug dealer? And I'm like, no, I can't give you any tests. And I'm like,
go see your doctor.
The fact that you said that makes me realize you're not doing blood work, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you need to know where your PSA is. And he goes, what's that? And I'm like, dude.
Exactly. Right
dude,
there.
Like,
there's a lot of those guys out there.
Well, yeah. And then, like, what happens to your estrogen? Because, like, you think you're taking testosterone, you're like this.
That's why you're crying, bro.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be nice to him. And then I'm like, hey, dude, I knew exactly what was showing. And then I'm like, dude, call this company I work with, they're really good. They'll take your blood and they'll tell you where you're at.
Yeah.
And then you have a historical marker of like data on, hey, my PSA was at 2 and now it's 3. Shit, it's going up. I need to figure out what I'm doing. I did VPC 157 and TB 500 peptides and noticed my PSA went down. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, that's good. So I'm like, awesome. So there is some really good stuff with the peptides.
Yes.
And having someone who knows what they're doing.
Yes.
That's not just like, hey, you should try this. Why? I don't know.
And then the funny thing is, it's like, I don't know if you remember this, but like back in like 2005, 2006, maybe a little earlier, you could fucking walk into GMC.
Yeah.
And you could get a synthetic steroid with a pro hormone that is legitimate, like if you're taking D-ball or One Straw. And you had 15, 16-year-old kids could go in and fucking buy that shit. And that's a whole nother talk on its own.
Right, totally.
But my point is because it's such a thing that's pushed behind closed doors, it's the education isn't there, and then people take it the wrong way, and that's why your guy probably isn't doing how do you get, because he's trying to take that back door, because he's scared to let it know that he's taking it, because to most people, well, you're less now because you take that. Well, I'm sorry, my grandmother that has fucking, blood pressure problems and she takes pills for it every day. Yeah. She's not any less of a person because she's trying to fucking, go back to homeostasis with her pill. Right?
Hey, just so you know, you're gonna need this. Like the thing with the peptides too is insulin is a peptide.
Absolutely.
So people are like, oh, it's like new stuff. Wait till it's banned. It's like, well, it's naturally occurring, bro.
Yeah.
It's amino acids.
Yeah. Yep. And it's okay if you have diabetes and you're popping insulin every day, and even that's such a weird stigma on that. Like I see people nowadays that have diabetes. I have a really good buddy. I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
And we'll go to breakfast and he'll fucking
drink a Coke.
Yeah. And then just give myself a little more. Yeah. It's like, dude, no, that's not what you're doing that for. Bro. What are you thinking right now? Like, stop.
I was taking care of my mom. My mom is in her 80s and she got dementia. Super horrible disease. If you ever had anything to do with it,
my grandmother is on the meds.
So horrible.
Yeah.
So horrible. But it's type 3 diabetes.
Yes, that's what they say it is. Yes.
Well, Alzheimer's. Yeah, it's type 3 diabetes. So basically, she gave it to herself. Because anything as I remember as a kid, she would pour sugar and stuff. Yep. Here you go. She'd make me cereal and she'd dump sugar in it. So I was like, this is kind of good. So I was like, oh, okay. After a while, I'm like, stomach hurts. I was like, I think I was like in my 20s. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm lactose intolerant. That's why my stomach always hurts. I don't really like dairy anyways. Whatever. So she gave herself dementia by just overloading sugar. And then thinking like she's Hispanic too. So she's like, well, if anything's wrong, just drink a soda. That'll make your stomach better. Yeah. No, I don't think so. But I don't think
the other day, what was it she said? I said, dude, I feel like I got a headache. I think I'm dehydrated. She goes, no. So I heard this thing on TikTok the other day. Just drink a Coke and have an Advil or wasn't Advil. Maybe it was something else. A Coke and something, and it just goes away. I'm like, it's fucking stupid. No, I am fucking dehydrated. I need water and salt. Period. The end of the day. Yeah. Dude,
they go to chemical in sodas so that because there's so much sugar in it. I forget the name of the chemical, so that you don't barf because there's so much sugar in it.
Really?
That's like, ugh.
That's a scary part that we're walking into. Like,
I mean, I know people who smoke cigarettes and drink Coke all day long. I have a friend in Ireland. He lays pipes for a living, the drainage pipe. Yeah. Very successful company. 5'11", probably 130 pounds. Coca-Cola, cigarettes all day.
The best part is that guy stopped. He'd probably say,
I don't know how he does. He's been doing this for a long, long time. I mean, but then it's great for him, I guess, till it's not.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. That especially with smoking, like, hey, that just takes off so much that you finally get to the point where you're in a hospital and you could have the come to Jesus moment. Like,
I saw my mom. My mom just passed in June. No, thanks, man. She just passed in June, and she smoked since she was 13.
Damn.
To passing away at 60. And even, I think my brother said it was, so I got out there, and after I got out there 3 days, she died. I think it was after 3 days she died. Like 3 or 4 days prior when she was still up, she's still wanting to smoke.
No way.
Yeah. And
that's an addiction.
And I watched her just kill herself with that. And I would say to her, she'd be on oxygen and she'd like, wheel me out. I want to have a couple puffs. It's like, it was hard. That shit was hard to watch. Yeah. It is a complete addiction.
Dude, that and alcohol.
Yes.
It's so that it's socially acceptable. So if you don't drink, you're weird.
Yes.
I'd say, huh? And you realize that when you're training for fights, I'd be raging, and then come 8 weeks, I'm done. So it could have been the night before, and we're blacked out drunk. The next morning, my buddy's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, bro, don't call me anymore." Yeah. They're like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm not partying, dude."
Call me tomorrow.
I was doing words. I'm like, "What?" Yeah. Dude, it's like Taco Tuesday. And I'm like, "Bro, don't talk." Here's my number.
No, it's so funny. It's so funny you say that, man, because I remember 2012, I had a fight, and I remember going out just to see some friends. And, there's a lot, most of the people out there don't have any discipline when it comes to anything, but there's a guy that's trying to hand out shots to everybody because he wants to be that guy.
That guy, yeah.
And it comes to me, and I said, "No, man, I'm good." And I was very polite. I said, "No, I'm good." He goes, and he tries to shove it in my face again. I'm like, "Dude, I'm good." He's like, "What, do you got something to hide?" I'm like, it's something to hide. What the fuck? No, I got something to lose, motherfucker. Like, get it the fuck out of my face. And you get irritable. I left that night. I remember just leaving. Like, I just can't do that. Not when you're in that mentality. You just
my for Halloween, right? My wife's girls, let's dress up. I was like, sure. So it's like these elaborate costumes. And she wants to go to this place in Anaheim. And I was like, oh god. And I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't want to tell her, like, it's Hannah Crime. But so we go, and her friend's there. Her friend's cute. She's like, hey, grab a shot. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm driving. And I intentionally drove so I wasn't gonna drink.
Yeah.
And she kept asking me, and I'm like, hey dude, I looked at my wife, I go, hey dude, your friend is bugging me. Like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, don't be sorry. Just like
Stop it.
And maybe get in front of him. Bugging me, dude. And it's like, that's so like, and she wouldn't stop. She was so persistent because she was drunk. And I'm like, dude, no, I'm good. I'm driving.
When you're sober and you watch that, it's
my sister was an alcoholic, so it was sad just to watch her, and she had kids and stuff, and she it was because you go to bars and they're like regulars, they're just there, and they're telling you their life stories, and they're hanging out, and they know everybody, like that movie or that TV show Cheers. Yeah, and it's like you watch.
That's a real thing.
Oh no, 100%. I watched. My sister was one of them. It's like, man, it sucks. Her whole life is on the hook.
The amazing thing is that there's an Irish bar not that far from here. And, they have the regulars, like you said, they're sitting there all day long. 3 or 4 of those people drank themselves into the coffee.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Literally.
And unless they want to change,
it's not going to.
It's not one of the hardest things to get off.
There's nothing you can do.
I watched my dad go through it.
Yeah, you can have $1 billion, you can have all the support in the world, and if they're not willing to say to themselves, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, there's nothing you're going to change.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. Because you're pulling there, knowing at the heartstrings, but you can't do anything.
Yeah. And when they're sober, they become a different person.
Yeah.
And they might want to change. But then when they have that first...
They like the idea of change, but they have to be willing to make that commitment to change. And by the way, it's not an overnight thing.
No.
That's the hard. It's
actually
one day at a time, right?
The one thing is that's really, really crazy is, I would say my dad would say it is an overnight thing in a way, because I remember he could tell me right now the moment that he decided to stop. My grandfather passed away, and he realized I have 2 grandkids that I want to fucking see. And that's it.
Well, there's a trigger for everybody.
Yeah, there's a trigger right there. So in a way, though, that is...
never get that trigger, though.
That's true.
Well, that trigger is a split second. Yeah. It could be, like you said, death of a loved one.
Yep.
Some health scare.
Yeah.
Who knows what it could be? It could be different for everybody.
Yeah.
And yes, the decision is a split second.
Yeah.
But when does that split second
But
come?
the action is the 1 day at a time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's the part that's like...
the split second is the decision, but the action is a lifetime.
Yeah.
It's not like, I think you get to a point like where our bodies are structured chemically, that if you get to X amount of years off it, and who knows what that is. I don't know if there's anything written in stone for this. It's not my expertise, but there probably is that point where your body no longer craves it. You get to that over the hill point. You always have to be cognizant and, be aware, and I'm not going to do it and so on. It's like when you become a fighter sort of thing. You get to a point where, you're it's in your body of, if you don't do it for 6 months, you could do it because you spend enough of time on the practice. Yeah, the repetition. It's like, I think what
sounds like brushing your teeth. Huh?
Yeah, it's like, I think alcoholism or any kind of addiction is the same thing. If you spend X amount of years, that could be different for everybody. You get to a point where your body is clear of it and it doesn't crave it. But that's not, or in most cases, in my, experience of people that are alcoholics or addicts and so on, it doesn't happen in 2 or 3 years. That could be, I knew one karate instructor in Costa Mesa, actually, he made a decision in 1970 to stop drinking. He said, in fact, his quote to me was, I tried to live like John Wayne and it almost killed me. And that's, because John Wayne lived in Orange County.
Yeah.
And, he died a couple of years back. But, he from 1970 forward, he never looked at his time. Just something clicked in his brain and he stopped and never felt. Now, he did all the appropriate things. He did the 12 steps.
Yeah.
He did the therapist, the medications.
So the actions.
He took the actions required to clean yourself up. Plus the biggest thing is the mental approach. and
That's it. That's
never
hard.
did it again. You know.
Yeah.
But that takes. He's a martial artist first, and had been a martial artist for many. So he has.
So he has a
Yeah,
mental gift as
yes.
well to be able to.
And he had character built up. You know.
Yeah.
Does that count? I think it doesn't work for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So Rob, as we kind of wind down, talk to us about the Razor striking system, man.
So
Then you need Razor Striking System. I'm Razor Rob McCullough, former MMA world champion, and I've broken down everything you need to know about striking into 23 basic techniques. This not only will get you into shape, but will also turn you into a proficient striker. So, want to check it out? Join us on our online journey with Razor Striking System.